All eyes are on the state of North Carolina today in the ACC as the Tar Heels and the Demon Deacons prepare to clash at Chapel Hill. Carolina at 5-2, Wake at 4-2, an impressive 4-game winning streak. And without question, these are two of the top offenses in the conference. And as we check out the ACC standings, Notre Dame is the one perfect team inside conference play after their big win over Clemson. Miami facing Virginia Tech today. And the only ACC team hotter than Wake right now is the Fighting Irish. Hi, everybody. Dave O'Brien alongside our partner Tim Hasselbeck, who's coming to you from Tennessee. I'm coming to you from New England. Katie George from Chapel Hill. And Tim, the Tar Heels offense can be scary good with a great young quarterback and a rushing attack that nobody wants to mess with.
Scary good is the right way to term it, Dave. And it's because of the players that they have. You mentioned that running attack. How about Javonte Williams? He's the power back, and the run game basically gets everything started. And Michael Carter's a part of it as well. They like him out in space. He's their speed back. And talking about speed, how about De'Ami Brown, their fast wide receiver, paired with Daz Newsome, their fast slot receiver who's so good after the catch. They are a tremendous offense. Sam Howell, of course, their starting quarterback, and they get so many explosive plays. 51 plays of over 20 yards this season. That's fifth best in all of college football. They are outstanding, a lot of fun to watch.
Wake Forest head coach Dave Clawson believes that his team is much improved from those early losses to Clemson and NC State.
Yeah, he's described them as an ascending football team, and they're younger on offense and defense than they planned on being, but they're improving each and every week, and a lot of their improvement has to do with Sam Howell, his ability to protect the football, and then their combo of running backs with Kenneth Walker and Christian Beal-Smith. They've done an excellent job offensively of protecting their football team by not turning it over. It's part of the reason they've won 4 straight.
Well, a big key has been the play of senior defensive end Boogie Basham. And for more on Boogie, let's go to Katie.
Well, as one of the most prolific defensive ends in the country, Carlos Boogie Basham has this innate ability to get into the backfield and disrupt both the pass and run game. After a phenomenal 2019 season, he made a conscious decision to come back for one more year so that he could solidify himself as a first-round draft pick in 2021. Basham registered a tackle for loss in 23 straight games up until his last outing. It was the longest streak in the country. North Carolina OC Phil Longo says Basham is extraordinary and someone that causes great concern when game planning, so keep an eye on number 9 in white guys throughout the afternoon.
Well, you know the North Carolina certainly will, Katie. That is for sure. Just an absolutely stunning day at Chapel Hill. We look at the series history, the 108th meeting between these schools. Wake has won 6 out of the last 10. That is certainly something that Mack Brown, head coach for North Carolina, talked about with his team a lot this week. North Carolina 5-2, coming off a 56-24 victory over Duke last Saturday. They've knocked off Syracuse, BC, Virginia Tech, NC State, and Duke, and both of the losses were by just 3 points. Wake Forest won the coin toss. They have elected to kick off here, so North Carolina will get their first crack at it with their outstanding offense. And ready to go on the attack with one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Sam Howell. Number 2 in the ACC with almost 2,100 passing yards. He's tied for the conference lead with 17 touchdown passes. Tim, he's tied with Trevor Lawrence with those 17.
Yeah, anytime you're in a group with Trevor Lawrence, it means you're having a good season. He had a great freshman year, played nearly flawlessly in critical moments. You know, he's got a big arm, Dave. He also does a good job of extending plays, and really their offense goes because he makes good decisions.
He's also really good at handing off the football. And with this offense, that makes a lot of sense with Carter and Williams, 2 of the best in the country, really. That's exactly what he'll do right away as Carter finds a little gap there, gets down to the 30-yard line with the first carry of the day that goes for 5. Stopped by Williams and Monroe.
They are good at handing the football off, and I do think it's something that they probably just need to do even more, to be honest with you, even running against looks that aren't the perfect look, because these backs are so good at breaking tackles.
Carter spins outside, big gain there as he'll pick up the first down. He's going to go for 10 before Anderson finally stopped him. Well, Carter went for 214 against Virginia Tech. He's had some major days this season. He's really considered the heart and soul guy, the life of the party, but also a terrific leader of this North Carolina team. And another carry, straight ahead he goes. So 3 plays, he's carried all 3 times.
And you talk about him being a leader. He's kind of a ball of energy. I think everyone kind of feeds off of him. And it's interesting to hear Phil Longo talk about their running backs, because he says, I don't even care who's in the game. They're interchangeable. And so 3 carries right off the bat for Carter. Now here comes Williams.
Javonte Williams wearing the number 25. Al's going to throw short to him. Trying to follow a blocker, and a big play there for North Carolina. So quickly moving the football, and they're so good at this, Tim. North Carolina has scored on the opening drive in 6 out of their 7 games.
And it's interesting because Phil Longo doesn't script plays. He knows what his 10 best plays are, but he doesn't script them. He gets a feel for the game, and I think the key is get the ball in the hands of your best players, which they've done so far.
3rd down and 3. And a reception here on the near side. Daz Newsome, another big target. That's his 25th catch of the season, and a guy who can really do some damage.
Gain of 7 on the play, 1st down, Tar.
So 1st down and 10 for Mack Brown and North Carolina. And another handoff straight into the center of the line. That's Carter on the carry. Johnson with the tackle.
Carter on the carry, Johnson on the tackle.
North Carolina with those 2 really tough losses by 3 points to FSU and 3 points to Virginia. So they're that close to being undefeated coming into this game today. Carter again, a running back. And another handoff. As he is stopped on that play by Smenda, Ryan Smenda, the 6'2", 235-pounder out of Orange Park, Florida.
Yeah, Smenda's a good player, got a lot of experience, and they're going to need him to tackle well inside. So many of these runs for North Carolina are inside runs. I've already mentioned the broken tackles that are created by these backs. Whether it's Red or Smenda, they're going to need to do a good job of tackling in the box.
3rd down 6 for Howell. On the move, throw short and completed to Williams. He can do that too. He has 3 touchdown catches this season. Tackled by Taylor to stop him and bring up 4th down. So a gain of 4 yards, 4th and 2 here for Carolina. Williams again, a running back. Already a key early decision here for North Carolina. Now the man in motion. That's Newsome. And a handoff. Williams so hard to take down on that first hit. As he is stacked up. Jaquez Williams the first man to get to him.
See, basically have an unblocked defender with Williams coming into the hole there, but you see the strength of Javonte Williams. You're handing the football off with an unblocked defender that meets the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage, and you see the power of the 5'10", 220-pound back, Javonte Williams, and not that I have a great angle at it. It's obviously close, but I think it was a good shot. He got it, Dave.
So measuring this one. Not a very important call there. Boy, oh, so close. For North Carolina on that 4th down and 2. But unable to get it.
It's interesting. I actually like the decision. That area of the field, this point of the game, to go for it. He obviously was not blocked correctly. Did think that there was enough power. Here we go, now that we have the line to gain there, and you just see Williams do a good job. Jaquez Williams, that is, of holding up, and then there comes Travion Red to kind of give him some support. It's a big stop by Wake.
A pass completed to Roberson as Wake Forest gets the football for the first time. Sam Hartman with the completion. Stopped by Chris Collins. Roberson certainly his favorite target with 33 receptions. And Hartman, perhaps the single most meaningful stat in Wake's season, Tim, is they've turned the ball over exactly one time in 6 games. Pretty amazing. Short pass again. And trying to bounce outside Roberson, but not much there.
It is amazing, Dave, that he hasn't thrown an interception yet. Now, he's only thrown 4 touchdown passes. They only have 5 touchdown passes on the season. But they've run the ball into the end zone. And so what they need is their quarterback to make good decisions, not hurt the football team. And Sam Hartman has done exactly that.
And a couple of very steady running backs, too, in Kenneth Walker and Christian Beal-Smith. And a timeout, North Carolina. On 3rd down and 4. And we will take the break as well. Just getting started here at Chapel Hill. No score here in the first. Well, Wake Forest and Sam Hartman trying to keep this opening drive alive. Tim, 3rd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, that's a good down and distance for Wake. You know, so many RPOs. You have everything at your disposal here. And you see Sam Hartman has done a good job on 3rd down, you know, because they've found themselves in some of these more manageable situations.
Pressure on him, and he's going to get that pass away on that left sideline. So under pressure, he's going to pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, that's a good job. It's a nice job of Sam Howell seeing it, pulling the ball out, spitting it out on time. It's another example of why they're good on 3rd down in those manageable situations.
Christian Beal-Smith in the backfield. And a handoff taking that left side, and Beal-Smith finally nudged out of bounds by Gimmel, but he picks up 12 yards on that carry.
Watch Beal-Smith here. He does a nice job of bouncing. Everyone kind of gets covered up. Linebackers are free, but that's just great vision. Bouncing it to his left, doing a good job of getting to the perimeter.
Caught by Green, and Donovan Green with his 16th reception of the season. We were talking with Sam Hartman this week about the guy he thinks could really break free in the offense, and he thinks Donovan Green could be that guy.
And they're going to need him to, Dave, because he's an outside receiver. They're getting all kinds of production in the slot from Ja'Cory Roberson. You know, they're getting it from Taylor Marin. They're different from a year ago. You know, last year was Sage Surratt and Scotty Washington outside. They were great outside. They were still good inside, but they were great outside. Now they're good inside. They need somebody like Green to step up outside.
3rd and 4, and then back to throw. And a flag down on what should be interference here. Trying to tie up the wide receiver Roberson. Again, 33 receptions for him.
4, defense, automatic 1st down at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
That'll go against Trey Morrison.
Yeah, Morrison just gets a little handsy here. It's a nice job by Roberson of just leaning into the defender and trying to snap out of it, and obviously just grabbing there by Morrison. And you know, I do think if you want to control this Wake offense, you have to do a good job in the run game, but you also have to control the production out of the slot. We've already seen Roberson a few times with the football, and then obviously having an impact there.
1st and 10, so Wake driving it. Beal-Smith trying to dance away from a tackler, does that beautifully. Trying to get ahead of the 10 before he's pushed out of bounds. So another big gainer here. That goes for 14 for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, that's Beal-Smith. Patience again. Good job breaking a tackle. And Dave, one of my favorite things, you get the quarterback following the play out front, getting the block.
Sam Hartman with the key play. So 1st and goal. And a carry here, Beal-Smith powering ahead. He really is their battering ram. He gets in close. He usually puts it away. 2nd down coming up here. 2nd and goal for the Demon Deacons.
He's the battering ram, but they also are getting movement. And, you know, it's not typically what Wake Forest does with their offensive line is get that movement. But they feel like they like it, and then they get into these situations. Hartman comes out, and it's wildcat when you're down in tight.
Walker and Beal Smith are the backs here on 2nd and goal. And out of the wildcat, straight ahead and into the end zone is Walker for the touchdown. So taking advantage of the wildcat and in for 6.
And they have 2 good backs, so they should take advantage of the wildcat. Kind of bobbles the snap a little bit there. It's fortunate to do that. Christian Beal Smith ends up being the lead blocker, and then good job by the guys up front of covering everybody up, and then Kenneth Walker strong enough to punch it in. And, you know, it's a different look than we saw when Jamie Newman was the starting quarterback for Wake Forest. He could be a goal line runner, but now they remove Sam Hartman, and the wildcat effective down in tight.
Nick Skiba on for the point after. That's good. So 9 plays, 63 yards, and 7-0 Wake Forest here in North Carolina.
Well, how about this Wake Forest offense? First, it's Sam Hartman leading the way as a blocker as Christian Beal Smith bounces it. And then Kenneth Walker and Beal Smith able to punch it in. Wake Forest on top.
Well, we talk a lot about North Carolina's outstanding running backs, but how about Wake's Kenneth Walker? Tim, that's 12 touchdown passes now as he punches that one in.
That's incredible that he's been in the end zone 12 times already this season. Obviously, a good company in terms of Wake history. In doing that, a lot of it has to do, Dave, with what we just saw. Getting into the wildcat in those situations inside the 5-yard line, on top of the fact that he's a good back in their traditional offense.
So 7-0 Wake Forest on the early strike here at Chapel Hill. And the Demon Deacons to kick off. Carter back. And we'll watch it sail into the end zone. Well, more college football coming up on ACC Network and on the ESPN app at 3:30. It's Louisville taking on Virginia. And then at 7:30 p.m. FSU and NC State. ACC Network primetime. That's presented by Geico. So North Carolina, after being stopped on downs in their very first drive of the afternoon, to take over the football again. Sam Hartman with outstanding receiving core. And Sam Howell the same thing. And he's going to wind up and fire, and it's going to be complete. Newsome off to the races, getting down to the 20. And he is going to be all the way in for the touchdown. In the blink of an eye, North Carolina answers for 75 yards and a touchdown. But a flag is down. A flag on the play. North Carolina, after electrifying the crowd.
There is no foul for an ineligible downfield. Result of the play, touchdown.
North Carolina's touchdown will hold up.
You know what, it's interesting. I did think that there was maybe a shot that there's a legal man downfield. It's a run-pass option. So much of what North Carolina does offensively. And, you know, Howell held the ball just a, kind of a split second, and those linemen are blocking the run, and we're downfield. And I think that, it's a rule doesn't get, a penalty doesn't get called as often as it once did with the advent of all of these RPOs. But that's exactly what North Carolina wants to do on offense. Show the run, throw in behind it, and then Daz Newsome, so dangerous once the ball's in his hands.
So Grayson Atkins on for the extra point, looking to tie this one up here in the first quarter. This might be the kind of day you can look forward to it. Plenty of points with these offenses, making it 7-7. So in the last 9 seconds on the clock, we've had 14 points in the game.
And that doesn't mean that there's bad defense. It means it can't be good offense. Here, see everyone up front blocking the run. You see them basically, linebacker comes up. When that happens, as A.J. Williams attacks, it creates a huge throwing lane in behind, and then Daz Newsome, we know, has so much speed. And so when you hit him on the run, allowing him to keep his speed up, it's just off to the races. So it really is the identity of what North Carolina wants to do offensively. And Daz Newsome, we had a huge year a year ago. Phil Longo talked about how he's really helped their run game as everyone's tried to defend the slot. Well, you see the predicament it puts defenses in. You want to come and attack the run. Well, here comes Daz Newsome in behind.
Dazzling indeed, so it's a 7-7 game. And North Carolina to kick off. Kim laying his foot into it. And here come the Demon Deacons again. North Carolina going for 75 yards on this touchdown pass.
Yeah, and you just see the hole that's created as Williams attacks. In behind, there's a huge hole in the middle of the field as the safety split. It's Nick Anderson and Trey Rucker, and then at that point, there's just too much speed and too much green grass. That's what they're looking for. North Carolina is looking for space, grass, so you get the ball in the hands of those speedy receivers with room to work.
Well, Sam Hartman came into the game with a string of 189 consecutive passes without throwing an interception. Walker with the carry for a 3-yard gain. And the only guy who's turned the ball over for Wake Forest all season is Christian Beal-Smith, who's very sure-handed. It was a big turnover. It came as a fumble against NC State. That was a 3-point defeat. Trying to bounce outside on the carry. And we'll pick up just 3 yards.
Yeah, when you talk about not turning the football over, it's really kind of been a hallmark of these Dave Clawson coach teams. Don't have penalties, don't turn the football over. They really work on it, and it shows every week.
Hartman, straight ahead he comes, and he'll dive ahead and pick up the first down. Typically
it's good to see Sam Hartman. Yeah, no, and Dave, it's basically what I was going to say. You're exactly right. Not his strength, but it's something that Dave Clawson probably wants to see him do a little bit more. He's made good decisions of when to do it, and when he has done it, it's been plays like that where you stay on the field by converting.
1st and 10. He's going to go over the middle, and that one is going to be picked off. Chris Collins. Let's see if he got it clean, but an interception for Collins, the linebacker for North Carolina.
Well, this is typically how it goes. Hartman's got, we're talking about him not turning the football over. He's got guys at his feet, and he just doesn't see Collins. And he maybe gets away with one here because Collins is coming over, and Sam Hartman doesn't see him.
Further review.
Well, they'll take a look at that to see if it holds up as an interception. We are tied as 7-7 here in North Carolina. On the review team, they're going to overturn this call. This will be an incomplete pass, not an interception.
And I think that's the right decision. That's why you look at these plays, that ball hits the ground and moves, and Hartman, who still has yet to throw an interception, a little bit fortunate there.
Was the first incomplete pass for either quarterback in the game. This one onto the near side for Green. So another 3rd and manageable here for Wake Forest. 3rd down and 4 for the Demon Deacons, coming in on a 4-game winning streak. He's going to fire it, and that one's going to be broken up. Good coverage again by the Tar Heels.
And really, that's kind of what they want to do, Wake Forest offensively. Hartman off of the action. He has good pass protection. He's working Nolan Gruel in the slot. And as he comes inside. And it's just a nice job of Patrice Rene. Probably gets a little too much jersey, but does a good job of driving on the football. You could tell he wasn't really afraid of Gruel's speed. Sits on it and makes a nice play.
So more to punt here on 4th down and 4 for Wake Forest. Daz Newsome will take it right there. So exactly 6 minutes to play here in the first. 45-yard punt. And for more on the family story of Dave Clawson, let's get it down to Katie.
Well, guys, COVID-19 has disrupted so many things this year. Take the Clawson family, for example. Dave Clawson's wife, Catherine, is a breast cancer survivor. And although Dave says she's very healthy and feels great, her white blood cell count is low from past chemo treatment. So Catherine, she's at a greater risk if she were to get COVID-19. With that, the Clawson family decided it would be best to quarantine from one another at the start of this season. So for the past 2 months, Dave stayed at their home in Winston-Salem while Catherine and their son Eric quarantined at their beach house. It wasn't until 10 days ago that the family reunited under one roof. But given the nature of Clawson's job, it's just hectic, and the family still distanced from each other and wears masks within the house because until Dave receives a negative COVID test after each game. And, you know, guys, while it's not an ideal situation for the Clawson family, it's necessary and a sacrifice that they've been willing to make this year.
I know he really misses his daughter there on the sideline with him, as we carried several games last year for Wake Forest, and he was always right there at Dave's side. 2nd down 10 for Howell in North Carolina. Off the play action. And he's going to fire that one complete. And a catch made by Brown.
Dave, just to follow up on Dave Clawson, I think his leadership in terms of what he has done, sacrificing in terms of how he's kind of lived with his family.
Johnny Brown breaking free on that sideline, making something extra after that catch.
I do feel like his team has recognized that. They've taken it seriously, and I think that's one of the reasons they've been able to manage it, is it's been hard for every program. I think Dave Clawson's leadership has been appreciated in that area by his team.
His team wearing, you know, the masks and the visors when they travel, when they were on the bus yesterday going to Chapel Hill. That's how we conducted our Zoom calls with the players and the coaches. Now winding up, he's going to go deep. And that one is going to be caught. A tremendous catch by De'Ami Brown. Boy, battling the secondary to make a sensational catch. Taylor was all over him, but it goes for 55 yards.
Yeah, De'Ami Brown usually just runs past you, and, you know, it's really a jump ball situation as Taylor has great coverage and looks at one point like he's going to come down with an interception, has both hands on it, but De'Ami Brown just ripping it through with his one hand.
Getting it quickly out here for Newsome. Outstanding effort there on 1st and goal. North Carolina pressing it again.
Well, pressing it is right. You think of the big play in the passing game, and then look how quickly back on the ball, and they throw a little swing to Daz Newsome. It's basically like a sweep to one of your talented wide receivers, and it immediately happens after a big play.
Javonte Williams, 17 touchdowns already this season. He's in motion. Howell on the move. He's going to be taken down from behind. Outstanding defensive play by Miles Fox, who chased him down for a loss of 7.
Yeah, and that's a good play by Fox, but this is a bad play by Sam Howell. It's not there right away. You feel the pressure. You're trying to escape. Go ahead and throw it away. Minimize the damage. It's one of the things that they talk about, you know, defense or, you know, offensively, what you want the quarterback to do. They call it damage control. Now you have a much more challenging 3rd down in the red zone.
Going to hand it off here for Williams. Williams tripped up. That does not happen very often where one man can take him down. Again, it's Fox for the 2nd time.
And Fox has been a nice kind of, you know, a nice addition, if you will, or, you know, production point for this Wake defensive line between Rondell Bothroyd and Miles Fox. You see Fox here just kind of splitting a little bit of a double team and getting there, making the play. And you think about it, you combine Bothroyd and Fox with what they already had in Basham. Pretty formidable defensive line for Wake Forest.
So Atkins on from 26 yards for the field goal attempt here to try and put North Carolina in front. And he's going to hit this one perfectly. So the Tar Heels with 3 more on the board now to lead it 10-7. You know, they were looking for more than that, but the field goal puts them in front.
They were kind of, interesting. Some sputtering by this North Carolina offense, but really it was the catch that got this going. You see it. I mean, I think Jasir Taylor is going to pick that off. He probably does as well. And almost like, Brown was thinking, well, hey, I'll play defense, make sure I get my hand in there to try to rake it out. And then it kind of falls into his biceps, able to squeeze it. And Brown's used to just running past people, so much speed. Up the field, that's really his game. Not that he can't run the intermediate routes, he can, but he's not really a jump ball guy. That's a good job at moment of truth, kind of identifying the football, locating it, and being able to bring it in.
8 plays, 79 yards, and 3 points for the Tar Heels. With 3 minutes to go here in the first. And taken right at the 1-yard line here by Green. Trying to break free. Didn't quite get to the 20-yard line. An 18-yard return. So they're allowing a few thousand fans inside Kenan Stadium today on a beautiful sunny afternoon. Temperatures in the lower 60s. Just absolutely gorgeous. North Carolina looking for their 6th win of the season. Wake Forest trying to win 5 in a row. And look who is here today. That is one giant coconut on our man Tim Hasselbeck. Not life-size, I will say that. Hartman on the carry. He'll pick up 4 yards.
Would have had a hard time finding a helmet if it was life-size.
Yes.
I don't need any more attention on the bald dome either, but I do appreciate the love of them having the cutout of us. But
it is all love. That's the case. Will Smith bouncing outside. Big gainer across the 50, cutting back inside across the 40-yard line. He really tore it up. Christian Beal-Smith with a 36-yard scamper.
Yeah, and big plays like that happen in the run game when linebackers get out of position. You see Surratt and Gimmel, the 2 inside backers, kind of attacking it. When you do that, you free up gaps, and it's a good job of Beal-Smith of seeing it.
Harmon looking downfield. And a completed pass. Got that man free. Roberson. He is into the end zone. And another quick strike here for the Demon Deacons as he gets it to his #1 target. Has really taken over that role from Sage Surratt this year. That's a 40-yard touchdown.
He really has. I mean, it just does a nice job off of play action of getting down the field. Roberson's running a deep cross. They have a post kind of clearing out, taking the top off the coverage, and Sam Hartman just throws a beautiful ball to Roberson. And what's interesting with Roberson, Dave, you mentioned Sage Surratt. They were expecting him back. He was going to be the #1 guy. But it's almost like they haven't missed a beat in terms of identifying the next #1. It's clearly been Roberson. This is what I mean about the deep cross. You see him coming from the left side of your screen, running the deep cross, and just enough speed to get deeper than Tyrone Hopper. And it's a good job. It's just a really good job of feeling it, knowing the depth that you have to get to, and then Hartman playing on time and delivering an accurate football so Roberson can keep his speed up.
3 plays, 80 yards into the end zone. And for more on Roberson, let's bring in Katie George.
Well, guys, after Kendall Hinton and Greg Dortch had so much success in the slot for Wake Forest and Sage Surratt did opt out, Dave Clawson said we couldn't have a slot be average. So the fact that Ja'Cory Roberson hasn't allowed that to happen impresses the staff. Clawson said he's really proud of Roberson. He's an example of a guy in his 4th year who is ready for his role. Clawson said he's matured, he prepares, he's someone he's rooted for ever since he got to the program. So Clawson, he's thrilled with Roberson finding success this season.
Boy, another touchdown. 2 of them quickly here for Wake in this game, and they have 20 touchdowns in the last 6 games. That's more touchdowns than they scored all of last season. And now North Carolina back offensively in what is turning into a wild one right away on this Saturday afternoon in the ACC.
A wild one is right, and we've had a few Wake games, Dave, that have kind of turned into these crazy shootouts where just score after score. And you know, with Sam Howell and this North Carolina offense, they've got the ability to match it. So in one of these games where you're expecting a lot of fireworks, and so far this one's delivering.
So 1st and 10 for Howell. Looking to throw some pressure, but he's going to air that one out of bounds. We talk about Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons, really turning things around after the 0-2 start. And after losing one of the ACC's, indeed the nation's best weapons when Surratt opted out prior to the season. Starting quarterback Jamie Newman as well transferring. So they lost a couple of huge weapons there. And it looked pretty bleak at the early part of the season, but it's been impressive since then. Pass is going to be complete as he hits Joffrey Brown. And a 1st down for North Carolina, a 14-yard pickup.
Yeah, and Joffrey Brown, the younger brother of De'Ami Brown, a lot of speed out of him, actually faster than De'Ami Brown.
And you know that comes up at Thanksgiving every year. It's De'Ami this time, who has 19 career touchdown receptions, 6 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks. So he has been target number 1. And he's going to pick up 12. So another 1st down for the Heels. Coming on the closing moments of the 1st quarter here at Chapel Hill. He'll throw into the flat. That one complete to Newsome. As Newsome, who's already taken a 75-yard reception today, he'll pick up 5 yards.
You can just see why it's hard to defend these guys, you know, with the ability to run the football, but now just spitting it out to the perimeter and picking up 5 quick yards because they're so good run after the catch.
Hole opening up the middle. Carter finds that. Still on his feet before finally they take him down. Michael Carter straight ahead for 20.
This is what I mean. You know, they pull Zudu around. He does a nice job of just covering up, and Tucker does the same thing. And then you see the elusiveness of Michael Carter. And so stretch you out horizontally, and then boom, hit you with one of those backs inside.
Not a bad idea to stay behind Zudu at 6'4", 325. Now the throw right down the middle, and another touchdown for North Carolina. It's Brown into the end zone. De'Ami Brown, and back and forth we go. 23 yards and a touchdown for Sam Howell.
It's an outstanding field by Sam Howell here. I mean, basically, you be the eyes for the wide receiver. Hard to find the throwing lane. You see, that's why he's able to stop him. You see the safety coming over the top, and then great body control by De'Ami Brown. Not just running blindly into kind of, you know, into a defender, kind of throttling it down a little bit so he's able to adjust to the ball thrown to the back shoulder.
Atkins with the extra point. 6 plays, 75 yards, and we are on the seesaw here at Chapel Hill.
I mean, back and forth is right. Look how quickly it can happen. See, as he gets vertical, just kind of settle it down a little bit. Don't run out of control into a defender, and that allows him to adjust to the football. And it's a great job of Sam Howell seeing where the coverage is, being the eyes for his wide receiver, slowing him down a little bit, throwing it to the back shoulder. And, you know, a couple of really nice plays by De'Ami Brown so far in this football game. Obviously the one where he's able to rip the ball away from Jasir Taylor. And then right there, of understanding the hole in the zone, adjusting to the football. Back and forth, wow.
De'Ami Brown and Sam Howell, they work out together in the offseason, and it really pays off. The chemistry between those two has become quite a story here in the ACC. So 4 lead changes already in the game.
Kickoff out of bounds. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
So by rule, it'll come out to the 35. 17-14 North Carolina, but hold that thought. And coming up, the ACC Men's Soccer Championship quarterfinals on Sunday. Clemson taking on Virginia Tech at noon, and then at 2, Notre Dame and North Carolina here on the ACC Network. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck from our homes. Katie George live there at Chapel Hill. And now here come the Demon Deacons again. And Sam Hartman looking for the answer. He's not throwing an interception all season long. Throwing long here, going down the sideline. And a leaping catch made by Donovan Green. A spectacular grab going up high.
Well, Dave, you mentioned it. They need Donovan Green to step up. It's because he's one of their outside wide receiver. Does a great job of winning the one-on-one matchup. Gets on top of Patrice Renee. And when the ball's up in the air, does a good job of fighting back to it and coming down with it.
38 yards. Here's Walker on the carry, trying to stay in there, but they knock him out of bounds as he goes flying. Just a couple of seconds left, and that's the end of the first quarter. And man, was that entertaining. North Carolina, after 1, leading 17-14 in a wild first quarter here at Chapel Hill. A lot of offense. And both sides going in the air for big strikes early on. Come on back for the second quarter. That first quarter was a whole lot of fun. Well, we saw 467 combined yards on offense by these two in the first quarter. And this one's going to be fired and off into the end zone for the touchdown, Donovan Green. We had barely started the second quarter and another touchdown. Boy, Hartman throwing the ball so confidently. And right there to Green for the touchdown.
He is throwing the ball confidently. Watch what they do here. Almost looks like quarterback ISO, that quarterback follow that they like to do. Good job of Kenneth Walker picking up a block. That gives a throwing lane to Sam Hartman, and sure enough, it's Donovan Green. He heard you say he needed to step up, Dave, and that's exactly what he's doing.
And Skiba will drill it. So back and forth we go. Yeah, Hartman, a confident throw indeed, as they continue to pile up touchdowns to the last 6 games. 3 plays, 65 yards for that strike.
You see Kenneth Walker get the block. The official does a nice job of getting out of the way. That would have been a shame if you hit the official on your way to throwing a touchdown pass. And you know, in this offense, you've got to find the throwing lanes, you know, and because oftentimes, as you saw there from Sam Hartman, he's walking towards the line of scrimmage. So you're usually not throwing with as much depth or separation from your offensive line. And so you kind of need to use interesting arm angles at times, but he does a nice job of quickly pulling it out of Kenneth Walker's belly. And then there comes Donovan Green getting inside. It's well done.
21-17. Wake Forest back in front. And we shall see what Sam Howell has up his sleeve when he gets an opportunity. He's been connecting early with the dynamic De'Ami Brown. Into the end zone it goes. So the Tar Heels on the attack now. A prolific offense. They've twice scored 56 points this season against Virginia Tech and last week against Duke and Durham. And the offense already for the both teams combined has just been absolutely off the charts. 266 yards for North Carolina, and they're down early here, very early in the second quarter. Now back to throw. They'll go short here to Williams. 3 men trying to bring him down. Javonte Williams, the 5'10 junior from Wallace, North Carolina, said he grew up watching the Heels on TV with his dad, often telling his dad, I am going to play football for North Carolina. You know, he's like 10 or 11 years old. I am going to play football for North Carolina, and that dream came true.
And I think he thought he was going to play linebacker, and luckily for North Carolina, he ended up as their running back.
He was a linebacker in high school, a real good one until his junior year of high school. Trying to gain the edge outside. He does 3 or 4 men on his way to a big gain. Good luck bringing him down. A 17-yard pickup.
Well, he was a linebacker. He kind of plays running back like a linebacker, as you see here, just breaking tackles. You know, he told us, well, I like defense better because I like to hit people rather than get hit. But listen, he delivers, you know, the punishment from the running back position, and so hard to get down.
Valedictorian, high school senior year. On the carry, big hole opening up, and again they can't take him down right away. Another gain here for Williams. Ja'Cory Johns eventually stopped him, but not before he picks up 16.
And he's just so hard to get down. And you hear everybody that's ever faced him say, you know, the first guy doesn't get him down. He runs through tackles, so much power and balance. The yards after contact for these backs is incredible.
Carter and Williams. This time on the carry bouncing is Carter. Michael Carter, the 200-pound senior from Florida. Vivian Red with the tackle. These two teams have split the last 4 meetings, the home team winning on each occasion. Mack Brown, the very first time he won a game as a head football coach, it was at Wake Forest against the Demon Deacons in 1983. So he has tremendous memories facing Wake. Winding up the fire again. It's Howell, and it's going to be another touchdown pass to Newsome. Well, Howell having a sensational day. So is Newsome here. And from 44 yards, another touchdown for North Carolina.
North Carolina just, you know, pounding that run, softening things up, and then you get Newsome running an inside fade from the slot against Nick Anderson, the true freshman safety, and that's just not a matchup that'll ever go in Wake Forest's favor. You're one of the more dynamic playmakers from the wide receiver position in the ACC, running an inside fade with so much space against a true freshman safety.
5 plays, 75 yards, and another touchdown for the Tar Heels. Back in front, 24-21.
Yeah, back in front because this is what they do offensively. Just pound you with Javonte Williams, and then you want to get people involved to stop it. Well, that allows Daz Newsome to run over the top.
Look at this, 12:45 to go in the second quarter, and Tim, it's 24-21.
I mean, I want to say that, you know, there's bad defense. I can't really say that it's bad defense. It's been amazing offense. And look, Sam Howell has been incredible. Sam Hartman has done a really good job so far, and I hope this keeps up.
Let's go to Katie.
Well, guys, over the summer, Sam Hartman had the opportunity to work out with NFL veteran Josh McCown, who spent his offseason training in the Charlotte area as well. Hartman says the two focused on his consistency and pocket presence. McCown would simulate pressure through various drills. For example, he threw sandbags at Hartman's feet to train him to stay strong in the pocket while keeping his focus downfield. For a guy that is yet to throw an interception this season, Hartman feels like the work with McCown is definitely paying off.
Tim, you ever have anybody throw sandbags at your feet?
I didn't. Maybe that was my problem. You know,
on the carry,
you know,
here's Bill Smith.
You know, Josh McCown actually still playing. Signed with the Texans earlier this week or last week, and played a long time, knows a lot of football, and the ability to train with him in the offseason certainly has helped Hartman. You see his growth as a quarterback.
2nd and 5, and, you know, watching this unique offense here for the old gold and black, that mesh style, the quarterback walks the running back up to the line. Oftentimes, Mack Brown, North Carolina head coach, said it's the weirdest offense I've ever seen. And when he says that, it really rings. He's seen a whole lot of them.
He has. It's unique, and, you know, more traditional offense in these 3rd and 8s.
Hartman up top and has a wide receiver. A battle for that, but a completed pass. And hauled in by Donovan Green after a good fight. And he won it 34 yards.
Yeah, and in Wake Forest keeps running some of these switch releases. They were in a bunch, and there's kind of a burst or a spray, if you will, off of the release, and that gets Green running on a linebacker down the middle of the field, and that's a good matchup for Wake.
Into the flat. Going to get that one complete. It was Taylor Morin. It was the slot receiver. A very good game against Clemson, so he could be sneaky at 9 catches against the Tigers in that game. And this game is on a pace for 160 points. Trying a trick play, but it's going to be incomplete. Intended Taylor Morin. An incomplete pass. We've already had 7 scoring drives of over 60 yards in this contest.
And listen, that one was close to going. That was basically the spread version of the option. And if Hartman was able to give Morin an accurate ball, there was so much room to run.
3rd and 7 for the Demon Deacons. Beal Smith back in as the running back. And Hartman to throw again. Throwing long. Toss that one up there, and it's going to be complete. How about that catch? Made by Morin, another big battle, and he wins the fight. 28 yards on that strike.
Well, it's not a good decision by Hartman. He throws in a double coverage. Really, the underneath route was where the ball should have gone, but sometimes it helps to have your receivers go fight for the football better than the defensive back, and that's exactly what Taylor Morin did there.
1st and goal. Beal Smith looking for that corner, and he's going to be denied. Shut down around the 1-yard line. Great block on the play there. That'll pick up 7. It's Donovan Green with a terrific block. 2nd down and goal. They're going to go quickly. Bobbles it straight ahead, getting inside. He lost it. He lost the football. It's going to be a touchdown. They're able to get it back and score.
This is just being a good instinctual football player by Sam Hartman. It's the 2nd time we've seen Wake Forest have a bad snap down inside the 5-yard line, a shotgun snap. We saw it in the Wildcat earlier on the Kenneth Walker touchdown. Sam Hartman fields a high snap there and then doesn't make a bad play worse. Just tries to recover the football and take it in. Takes a bit of a shot as he's going into the end zone, but he's fortunate enough to continue to fight for the football and end up with it in the end zone.
Boy, if you're Patrice Rene right there at goal line, you thought you had him stopped, right? And the ball kicks loose. He made a terrific play. They thought they had it for a split second. But Wake Forest powering into the end zone again, despite this one coming free. Right there at the goal line.
Yeah, you're right, Dave. It's Trey Morrison and Patrice Rene meeting Hartman, and they get the ball out. I mean, Rene, as you said, he's got his finger up saying, hey, it's going the other way. But Hartman, who put on some muscle in the offseason, wanted to get stronger, is able to wrestle it away.
Well, to play the touchdown under review.
Field is confirmed. Touchdown.
And they're going to call it a touchdown, so they stick with it. 8 plays, 75 yards, and another touchdown as Wake retakes the lead. And Hartman going in strong despite losing the football for a split second. 10:26 to go in the 2nd quarter. And Wake Forest looking for their 28th point. And they will get it on the Skiba point after. Boy, already 6 lead changes.
And then they're not doing it how it was designed, but they're doing it. Taylor Morin going up and fighting for the football. And then how about Sam Hartman just trying to muscle it into the end zone and then recover it.
It has been a towering offensive display for these two teams. 634 total combined yards and some great plays, Tim.
Some really great plays. You know, as a defensive play caller, you just want to have guys in position and hope they make a play. I feel like both defensive coordinators have had opportunities for that type of thing to happen, but it's the offensive players that are kind of rising to the occasion, and it's happening for both Wake and North Carolina down the field.
Who came to Chapel Hill today predicting 160 combined points? That's the pace that we are on. Here's Carter to bring it out. Carter almost upended and gets across the 20-yard line on the return. Wake Forest with the lead, 28-24. And the wildest first half we have seen anyway, in the ACC this season. We had a couple of Wake Forest games last year that were similar to this, especially their game against Louisville, which was just off the hook as far as offense was concerned. So North Carolina back on offense, down by 4 with about 10 minutes to go before halftime. I think both teams will be looking forward to that half to catch their breath. Here's Howell, still plenty of time to throw, and fires that one complete to Simmons. The sophomore has been playing very well in recent weeks. Let's go down to Katie George.
Well, as soon as Sam Hartman completed the first down pass to Taylor Morin, Wake Forest linebacker Jaquez Williams turned to his defensive teammates and said, "Do you see how many plays they're making? We have to step up and start pulling our own weight." So this Wake defense very aware that they need to come up with a stop here soon, guys.
Second down and 6 for the Heels. One of the most productive offenses coming into this game in the country, and down goes the quarterback Howell as he is sacked by Deion Bergen.
Bergen's just able to get an edge. See inside there, this is part of the problem that you have with RPOs. You have offensive linemen blocking the run, and sometimes it gives you creases and allows a defensive lineman to pop through. And so, you know, when you're not pass protecting the court and the ball is still in the quarterback's hands, it often leads to some of those negative plays.
So 3rd and 12 for North Carolina. Howell in the pocket. He's going to move now. On the run, he's going to air that one out of bounds. That's something they were actually practicing, Tim, this week. And I know you quarterbacks hate to practice getting rid of the football as opposed to taking the sack, though.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the way this game is going, you're going to want to flip the field rather than, you know, give somebody a short field. And so, yeah, they practice throwing the football away. You know, they want to eliminate kind of the Johnny Manziel, Patrick Mahomes type of backyard offense that sometimes they would get with Sam Howell trying to create offense. And so practice thrown away. I already mentioned damage control. That's okay.
Kiernan, the native of Dublin, Ireland, able to get that one off and tackled around the 40-yard line. Taylor Morin, he's hoping for more than that, but Wake on top, 28-24. Well, a big loss for Wake Forest fans. Dr. Larry Hopkins, a revered physician and star running back at Wake on the 1970 ACC champions, passed away recently. He was a record-breaking rusher, averaged 112 yards per game his senior year at Wake, then became a doctor and went on to deliver thousands of babies in a lauded career. Well, here we are with about 8:40 to go in the second quarter. North Carolina trailing Wake Forest 28-24. And Dave Clawson and his outstanding offense going after it again. Clawson, one of the most innovative coaches in college football. His Demon Deacons averaged 42 points a game during this 4-game winning streak. And here comes Walker down the sideline.
Well, he is innovative offensively. He does a nice job there of getting Kenneth Walker wide open with basically a pick play. And what's interesting about what he's done with this offense and how it's been developed is it's unique, and you never see that. You usually see people copying what other people are doing, especially when they have success, but this has been their own. It's been really effective, and I don't think you can give enough credit to Dave Clawson for what he has done, how he has identified a way to develop, coach, and teach this offense.
Well, his big phrase is, the ball is the program. Holding on to the football, nearly intercepted here. Of course, they have not been picked off here in 2020. But boy, a couple of times today, it's been razor thin as far as throwing an interception.
It has been. We saw one earlier that should have been picked, and Morrison there does a good job of running underneath this, undercutting the outbreaking route to Roberson. And it would have been a nice athletic play, but ball was in both of his hands.
So 3rd and 15. Hartman on the move. He'll fire this one. And it's going to be broken up by North Carolina. So their secondary, on this occasion anyway, buckling down. And we're going to have 2 punts in a row in this game. Kind of a state of shock.
I mean, the nerve of these offenses to not reward us with another touchdown.
Indeed. So on 4th and 15, Mora to punt. Wake Forest looking to win their 5th consecutive game. They've really clawed their way out of that 0-2 start. North Carolina looking for their 6th. Wilson back with a fair catch, and that's where the drive will begin for the Tar Heels. Tremendous day so far for Sam Howell, the sophomore. He came in tied with Trevor Lawrence with 4 games of at least 3 touchdown passes this season. Last year, 38 touchdown passes as a freshman. There's been so much talk about the vaunted running attack for the Tar Heels, but 3 or more touchdown passes since 2019 in a game, and right there with Trevor. 28-24 Wake Forest. North Carolina trying to answer again, and nudged out will be Joffrey Brown, a 6-yard gain for the freshman.
You just continue on Sam Howell, and you know, the big explosive plays. He has a strong arm. There's no doubt about that. He's accurate. He makes good decisions. Really, from the moment he stepped on campus, I don't think it ever felt too big to him, and it's one of the things that I think the football team has rallied around.
Gets this one free to Newsome, who's really been a thorn in the side of Wake Forest today. 17-yard pickup there. When you talk to his teammates, Sam Howell's teammates, there's such a high regard for his mentality. As you say, never too high, never too low. Not a real noisy guy. He's not going to stand up in the locker room and make a lot of fiery speeches. When he does say something, everybody listens. And we'll hand off here. Carter, not much room to operate on the outside as he's tied up.
And I think the interesting thing about, you know, he doesn't get too high or too low, but what he has done is he has immediately raised the expectations in this program, because now all of a sudden, from the moment he stepped on campus, people thought, we have a star, one of the best in the conference at quarterback, and we're going to have him for a while.
Yeah, Mac Brown talks about that a lot too. He said, you know, raising those expectations, that's been a big deal in North Carolina, what they were able to do last year. But a lot of these guys, about half the team, went through a 2-year period where they won just a handful of football games. So they're still trying to get used to this idea of winning.
Yeah, and you do have to develop that. You know, winning is contagious, much like losing is. And, you know, and so Mac, you know, has his work cut out for him. But, you know, in just over a year, he's done a nice job.
3rd and 11. Now throwing again, and incomplete. That was intended for Williams, the running back, unable to make it. So that'll bring up 4th down and 11 and a 3rd consecutive punt.
Yeah, and Sam kind of falls away from this one here. As, you know, he's got Williams open. You see him just kind of drift off and fall to his left. And that's really probably what made the ball tail a little bit. And they had an opportunity to convert there to the running back if he gives him a better ball.
Kiernan, the native of Ireland, from a rugby player. Able to get that one off, some pressure on him. And Bourne will take it around the 15-yard line. 44-yard punt, 28-24, Wake Forest. Our game summary, a long way before halftime, 28-24 Wake Forest. Lot to take in there. Interesting to note that Sam Howell's 232 passing yards in the first quarter were the most in any quarter this season by an FBS quarterback. Amazing.
It's amazing. Sorry, got over 300.
And now Wake getting that pass free to Roberson, who's been fairly quiet in the attack to this point. Actually, that was Blake Whiteheart on the outside.
Gain of 3 on the play.
And a gain of 3
2nd and 7 for Wake Forest.
to bring up 2nd down and 7. And the handoff for Beal Smith, but right into a pile as he is stacked up.
Christian Wilson on the carry.
Jeremiah Gibble with the stop there. He's really the alpha male for North Carolina in their defense.
Yes, and this is what these defenses, both sides, want to do. Getting to these like known passing situations, 3rd and long, which makes it much easier to defend because you're not dealing with the mesh point and all of that nonsense that gives you so much trouble.
Hartman's going to air it out. He has a receiver, and the catch is made. And a terrific play for the strike as he gets it to Green, who has been money today in the first half. That one goes for 41.
Yeah, Green has stepped up, and you know the matchup that they continue to find is Gimmel running the middle of the field in a cover 2 look with Green, and Gimmel's a really good player. We saw him on 2nd down, but running down the middle of the field with a wide receiver isn't the matchup defensively that North Carolina is looking for.
Now both of the Sams are having outstanding days, aren't they? Beal Smith bouncing outside across the 30-yard line before he is nudged out. Christian Beal Smith to pick up a first. He romps for 15.
And it's just interesting to see how these backs, they kind of slowly get to the hole. They have good vision, and as soon as they see a crease they like, it's just like they clamp on that ball and go.
Beal Smith reversing fields, down he goes. Gimmel with the stop, but he picks up 6 more yards.
And I will tell you, just looking at the energy of the front for North Carolina, I think these guys are tired. They've already defended a bunch of plays. The pace is fast.
Beal Smith once again staying on those feet. Well, I think the fans in the stands are probably exhausted as well. That'll go for 3 with all of these points. They're going to need halftime coming up in about 3 minutes.
They are. I mean, it just is. I think part of what happens is you're already seeing hands on the hips. You know, you're seeing guys, you know, kind of tired. And I think part of it is, you know, spitting the ball outside, making guys run sideline to sideline. The way they kind of, as Jay Bateman said, gum it up, just cover you up with the offensive line, and you're always fighting with somebody. And so because of that, I just am not seeing a ton of energy to the football by this defensive front for North Carolina.
They figured Walker would get the football and down to the 10-yard line. He has already scored once today and has 12 touchdowns on the season, a gain of 2 on that carry.
And you know, you almost wonder if Wake here tries to really slow this thing down. Remember, they will get the ball to start the second half. There's a lot of time here, but if you can kind of force North Carolina to take some timeouts or use some clock, maybe have that be another defender for you if North Carolina gets the ball back.
Walker straight on, taking tacklers with him down around the 1-yard line as he'll pick up 9. Kenneth Walker can be a bruising back out of Arlington, Tennessee. And the sophomore, maybe somewhat underrated, but he has 3 touchdown games so far this season. So he's been tremendous down close as well. 1st and goal here for Wake Forest, looking for that end zone yet again here in the first half.
Yeah, and if
leading
you're
28-24.
If you're Wake, 10 seconds left on the play clock. Think about how different this is for them. This is smart by Dave Clawson here.
Diving in and all the way through the little nudge. It's Kenneth Walker for the touchdown. Walker, the second time today, he finds the end zone. And Wake continues to pile up the points here at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, just a good job of goal line running. Good job of kind of getting movement there. And it's not a ton, but it's enough. And there's a little bit of a wave and a little bit of a shove from Sam Hartman. And he should be excited about how this Wake offense has performed in this first half.
You know he's going to be talking about that block he threw earlier.
I mean, I'll talk about it as well. It's really good.
7-play drive. And a point after is good. Wake Forest. Still time left here in the first half, and they have 35 points.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And then kind of getting it from everybody. You know, Sam Hartman does a good job on that 3rd and long. He's able to find Green running down the middle of the field on Gimmel. Gives him a good throw. That kind of keeps the drive alive. Obviously gets a big play, and then that leads to the Beal Smith run. Good vision by him. And then I think it was smart of Dave Clawson. Slow things down a little bit. Eat as much clock as you can before Kenneth Walker punches it in. These guys are excited on the sideline talking about it, reliving it, and I don't blame them.
Hartman having himself a day. And we talked with North Carolina head coach Mack Brown this week, and the very first win of his college career as head coach was against Wake Forest. But he said he had a nightmare the night before that his team showed up in the wrong uniforms and had to forfeit. They would win the game after the nightmare ended 27-25, but this has been a bit of a nightmare to defend them for his team today. No question about that. He's already allowed 35 points.
It was interesting to hear him remember the details of, you know, that game and the nightmare he had before the game. And you're right, this is a nightmare. You just look at this, 59 points combined. Look at where that, you know, ranks this season. Obviously, Clemson put up a ton of points on Georgia Tech themselves in that matchup, but we have 1:28 left, Dave, so I mean we could score another 21 at this point.
That's been the pace of this thing. If you like offense, this is your day. Certainly this game. Sam Howell looking for the answer, and will get this one outside and complete to his tight end Walston for 11. They don't use the tight end a ton, and it's his 9th reception of the season. At first down and 10 for Carolina. Williams in motion. Going to hit him in the flat. And it takes at least 2 to bring him down as he's stopped after a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, and you look at, because they still have their 2 timeouts, you know, kind of a good situation. They go at a fast pace anyway with just a minute left nearly at midfield. Still kind of dangerous territory for Wake Forest.
Now pump fake. Now he's going to throw it, and it's going to be out of bounds. Intended for De'Ami Brown. So 55 seconds before halftime brings up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised to see them go with a traditional RPO here, because you can run it because of the timeout situation and because you get big plays out of your backs at times. We've seen them do that in these 2-minute situations.
Throw short here, Carter. Across the 40-yard line and scampers out. Now we'll see if he got the first. Going to be close. He's going to pick up 2. With 48 seconds before halftime. So did not get it.
And I'm not sure I love this. I'm not sure I love this idea. 48 seconds left, turning the ball over here. We might not be surprised if they're just trying to get him the jump.
And it off for Williams. He's going to break free and get to the 50-yard line and move the sticks for North Carolina.
Well, that's a dangerous and gutsy call by Mack Brown to go for it in that situation. It's a nice run by Williams. And if he isn't able to make that cut, that could have been a disaster for North Carolina.
1st and 10, last half minute. Powell throwing long, heading for the end zone, and that one is going to be caught, actually, right down there. It's going to be picked off. They're going to get together on this. Yasir Taylor was down there battling with Brown. And a sensational effort by Taylor, who has one of their 3 pick sixes this season.
Ruling on the field, interception by the defense, 1st down.
Taylor with another interception.
Well, we saw Taylor, running with De'Ami Brown earlier, just wasn't able to come down with it. This one looks like it was originally caught by Brown. Maybe loose, or it looked like Brown was going to catch it, and then this one's wrestled away by Yasir Taylor. So, kind of a similar play, but different result than the one we saw earlier, where the first player to kind of look like he has possession of the football doesn't end up with the football.
It's amazing he came away with the football.
Yeah, and I think that ball's still moving around. See, De'Ami Brown originally gets that left hand on it, and you think he's going to catch it, but it's moving around. And it looks like it's Taylor's the player that has possession of the football. I believe he was in bounds that whole time as well.
So this play is under review. So it's either a 48-yard catch or an interception.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can say it's a catch, because looks like he maybe is going to catch it, but that ball's moving. You still see it moving, never has possession of it. And then as they go to the ground, the player that looks like he has possession is Yasir Taylor. And I don't see the ball moving, Dave. So in terms of it, being a catch, an interception, or an incompletion, I don't see the ball hit the ground at any point. And so I would think that since it's been ruled an interception, I haven't seen enough to overturn
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down, Wake Forest.
Yeah, you are correct, Tim. Right on the money. An interception. They've picked off 12 passes this season, the secondary for Wake Forest. So this has been a giant advantage for them all season long, with all of these interceptions, and another one here with 24 seconds to go before halftime.
I mean, it's coach speak, but it's a winning formula. I mean, don't turn the football over as an offense. Find a way to get takeaways defensively, and if you do that, yeah, you have a chance to win. Real good chance.
And diving ahead, the quarterback Sam Hartman, as we run out the first half here in North Carolina. It'll be a 1-yard pickup there. Well, it certainly has been immensely entertaining with all of the points and all of the big plays. A timeout here. And one of the wilder first halves anywhere in college football there in 2020. Mack Brown still out talking about that interception. And the outstanding pickoff by Taylor. 20 seconds to go here in the first half. That'll allow all of us to catch our breaths. We're going to need it. Fans watching at home and here at Chapel Hill as well are going to require a little extra. Hartman with Rule in motion. He'll dive ahead again. North Carolina using all their timeouts. And another one here. Trying to make Wake Forest punt the football one more time. We've had precious few of those in the first half.
Yeah, and I understand what North Carolina's doing here. You know, you have Wake way back, backed way up. They don't often take snaps from under center. Because of where they were on the field, it kind of forced them to have Sam Hartman under center, taking snaps, going with the quarterback sneak, but obviously they're able to kind of survive that situation. And obviously if you're Dave Clawson, you're happy with how the first half has gone, especially offensively. You'll take a knee here and take it to halftime.
Over 300 yards passing already for Sam Howell, the outstanding quarterback for North Carolina. But the interception right here at the end of the first half. And Wake Forest will take a timeout. So this is like, everybody going a million miles an hour, and then right before the end of the half we come to a screeching halt. But this game has been played with breakneck speed and powerhouse offenses. We came on the air talking about how good both offenses are. Interesting to see Wake Forest has seriously outrushed North Carolina in the first half. And that will be it. That'll be the end of this first half. Entertaining indeed. Wake Forest on top, 35-24 over North Carolina here at Chapel Hill. Bright sunshine at Chapel Hill on a glorious day. Glorious for the offenses. Look at this as we get ready for the third quarter. Wake Forest, after one half, 35 points, 35-24. It was sensational. If you like scoring, Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck from our homes, Katie George there on the sideline at Chapel Hill, as we're ready, I think, after getting some oxygen for the second half. 88 plays, just one penalty. These two teams combined for 782 yards. That's the most in any first half this season in FBS or the NFL. Tim, that's amazing.
It is amazing, and I said it wasn't about bad defense. I think there were some really well-timed play calls that got guys free in the secondary. It's not like it's been a bunch of missed assignments or anything like that defensively, and I would expect there to be some adjustments, try to keep things in front of you a little bit more to slow the pace down, especially if you're North Carolina.
Wake Forest get the football to begin the second half as we get down to Katie George.
Well, guys, in talking with Dave Clawson, he wants to see his defense continue to get stops. He says UNC has a prolific, explosive offense that's going to make plays. He doesn't care how his defense gets off the field, whether that's forcing them to a field goal in the red zone, whether that's coming up with an interception or a turnover on downs. He says, I don't care how our guys get off the field. We just need to come up with more stops here in the second half.
Mac Brown, of course, debating that the interception was legit, but it did slow down at the end. Just 7 points over the last 10 minutes and 26 seconds, but we had 6 lead changes. 3 wide receivers and a running back have already gone over 100 yards for the day, and we're just starting the second half. And Hartman tiptoeing up. He'll fire this one, and it'll be complete as Roberson is taken down with a quick strike.
Yeah, well, he finds Roberson there, and that's one of the things he's done today. He's done a nice job of finding Roberson. He's also gotten some production out of Donovan Green. Donovan Green playing outside, Roberson coming out of the slot, and Hartman's been, playing with a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and here he goes taking off and running.
Yeah, he's been, you talk about the block he threw, and a couple of things that he did outside of just throwing the football in the first half, and he's having the best day of his career.
Yeah, and it's basically a little bit of an option here, and you just think about this. I mean, didn't think he was going to be the starter coming into the season until Jamie Newman decided to transfer. He thought he was going to be the backup again, and here he goes.
Going to keep it and slide down. Hartman with the carry. And he admits that the two Sams, he and Carolina's Howell, are occasionally mistaken for one another. Back home in North Carolina in the summertime, they are friendly. They text on occasion. Their families know each other. They like each other. Not necessarily today. Christian Beal-Smith trying to bounce to the outside. And down he goes.
Well, I think I've probably confused these guys a few times in this game, right? It's not often that you get a Sam on one side and a Sam on the other, but you know, we were expecting Sam Howell to play great, and I think that Sam Hartman has really risen to the occasion. He's been outstanding.
He sure has. 3rd down 3. And that pass, as he's nudged out of bounds, is complete. Once again, it's Roberson as he'll gain 4 yards and pick up a 1st down.
You know, Dave Clawson talks about how this offense is not a game plan offense. It's an execution offense. They rep over and over and over again, you know, their core plays. And by doing that, they're good at running them against any look you give them.
Give to Beal-Smith. Stiff arm there, trying to carry it to the outside. Patrice Rene, who suffered a torn ACL last year, the tackle on that one, but you talk about a fast recovery and such a key man in the secondary for North Carolina. Wake on top, 35-24. Hartman thrown again. Incomplete. Rene right there to break that up.
Yeah, they bring Rene off the edge there, and he's able to get his hand on the football. And one of the things Jay Bateman, the defensive coordinator for North Carolina, did say to us was we need to find ways to get batted balls. You know, this team doesn't turn the football over. You know, batted balls, tips that turn into interceptions, one of the ways to do it.
3rd and 9. Hartman to throw. And incomplete. Intended for Gruel. Had a shot at the end zone, but incomplete to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and they have Gruel here running down the seam. It's another one of those switch releases. You run some traffic through that, kind of gets Patrice Rene clogged up, and this is one where Hartman's going to want back. He's trying to fire it in there before the safety can get over the top, and then trying to throw it hard, kind of a firm ball, just overshoots Gruel.
So this will be 41 yards here for Skiba. Make it 40. Trying to nail this one. One of the better kickers in the country will hit that one. So Wake continues to score. They open up a 38-24 lead. Well, Wake Forest with a field goal out of the gate to begin the second half, now leading at 38-24. The pace in the first half was just off the charts, frenetic scoring, but North Carolina has not scored on their last 3 drives after scoring on 4 of the first 5 of this game. So they're trying to find that momentum again, Tim.
Yeah, and I think that's what Dave Clawson is referring to when he talks about, you know, getting stops, doesn't care how he gets them. But it did seem like the defense was able to tighten up a little bit towards the end of that first half.
And Sam Howell, nonetheless, has had an outstanding day for Carolina.
Well, and you see why he's so dangerous. RPO game, he's able to hit Daz Newsome, keep him on the run, and then he's just been an excellent deep ball thrower as well. Finds De'Ami Brown over the middle there, but the ability to push the ball down the field, I think, is one of his best traits. He's an accurate deep ball thrower. When you pair that with fast wide receivers, you can be a quick strike offense.
323 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception. Quite a battle for that to go Wake's way at the very end of the first half. He'll hand off for Carter. And at this point into his sophomore season, Howell had thrown 55 touchdown passes coming into play today. Trevor Lawrence at the same spot his sophomore year, 66. Russell Wilson had 48 at NC State. And 2nd down and 9. Carter again. Trying to push ahead near the 30-yard line. He'll gain 3 yards.
Yeah, listen, when you're getting compared to Russell Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, that's the company that you're keeping with your introduction to college football as a freshman and then into your sophomore season. It just gives you a little perspective of how good he's been. We said earlier that he's raised the expectations here. And obviously you could tell why.
They're 2 for 7 on 3rd down. 3rd and 6 here for Carolina. Time in the pocket to throw, and he's going to throw incomplete. So it'll bring up 4th down. Not this time for Howell.
Well, look, it's another stop by this Wake Forest defense. It's just really good coverage. Sam Howell's got nowhere really to go with the football, and Travion Red does an excellent job in coverage. I mean, you tell me where you're going. I mean, guys are covered up. I mean, you can maybe make an argument for Emerson Simmons at the bottom of your screen, but, you know, it's probably hard to pick him up with the underneath coverage getting so deep. So Wake Forest just finding ways to get stops, as Dave Clawson said.
So another drive set to get underway here for the Demon Deacons after a 41-yard punt. 38-24, the Demon Deacons in front. Well, this is pretty cool today with the Masters, of course, underway. Golfing legends, Masters legends, Raymond Floyd attended North Carolina, and the great Arnold Palmer, Wake Forest. 4 years there. Amazing how Jack Nicklaus gets in so many of these photos, isn't it?
I mean, shocking. Shocking that they find him in there.
With the green jackets. We look at the 2020 Masters. Webb Simpson right now by 2 strokes. A great golfing and football traditions for these 2 schools. 1st down and 10 for Wake Forest. On the move again, leading 38-24. Walker with the carry. And he's going to gain 2 hard-fought yards there.
Ball spot at the 31-yard line.
So early moments of the 3rd quarter in what has been a sensational offensive display. These 2 teams combining for over 780 yards in the first half. More than any FBS game we have seen this year, any NFL game we have seen in the first half. In 2020, this play will go for 8 on a 1st down.
And Jay Bateman, the defensive coordinator for North Carolina, has decided that he's going to load the box and he's going to play man free. He's going to play man coverage with a safety in the middle of the field. I think probably, you know, trying to dictate what Wake will do offensively, because if you give Wake that look, traditionally what they will try to do is just throw the one-on-ones, because it's hard to run versus that look, and I think they're trying to get Wake Forest out of this mesh offense.
3rd and 1, they were just short and trying to bull ahead, and that was Taylor Morin as he jumped under center.
And Dave, that was similar to a play we saw, you know, Virginia run with Keaton Thompson, where he's playing receiver, he's going in motion, and then, you know, just sneak him into the quarterback position for a sneak.
That'll get that first. A tough snap. And Walker with the carry as they stay on the ground. I thought that was one of the more surprising things about the first half, Tim, that the Wake Forest running attack for long stretches was far more effective than North Carolina's, which is one of the best in the country.
Yeah, and I think it's surprising. It's surprising to me because of how they block it. But basically, this offense wants to take the aggressiveness out of, you know, the defensive line and the linebackers. You know, try to neutralize them, try to make them be patient, and that's hard. It's kind of counterintuitive for defensive players, especially linebackers, and it leads to creases. We saw big plays in the run game.
Nolan Gruel picking up a 1st down. He continues to have a really nice day. That was a 10-yard gain. Hartman looking to fire again, and complete. And a catch by Green as they go airborne on that occasion. Donovan Green has also put together a terrific afternoon in the sunshine in Carolina. Give him 9 on that reception. So 2nd and 1. Wake to go quickly. Walker is going to be dragged backwards and stopped by Rucker.
You know, when you look at this situation for Wake with, you know, you mentioned Gruel, and we've seen Donovan Green step up. You know, it's been described as a roller coaster with their outside receivers. If they can get those players to start playing better outside, with Roberson working inside, on top of this run game, so many challenges in terms of defending them.
And a flag on 3rd down and 1 with 8:02 to go in the third.
Penalty. Still 3rd down.
Only the second flag that we have seen thrown in this one. And the first penalty on Wake Forest. They don't get many. It's been a real problem for North Carolina this season.
Yes, and you see situations why it could become a problem. It's 3rd and 1. You know, you've been running the football well. Your center flinches. The nose guard points it out to make sure everyone knows. And then at that point, you know, now it's 3rd and 6. Much more difficult down and distance.
Hartman to throw again. And fires that one complete as he hits Morin. And 3rd down and 6, he'll get 7.
Yeah, this ends up being a good play by Sam Hartman, because I thought North Carolina jumped, which would have given you a free play, but instead of which means you should take a shot. He didn't do that there, stuck with it, and was able to find Morin for a 1st down.
Walker slicing through, and another hefty gain for Kenneth Walker, who has a couple of touchdowns today. Stopped by Collins, but he picks up 11.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned it earlier, and Jay Bateman mentioned it. He thinks defensive lines get worn down by this style of run game, and I feel like it's happening.
He throws that one incomplete. Trying to get Green slicing over the center on the 10th play of the drive. Another long drive here developing for the Demon Deacons, already up 38-24.
And that's a miss by Sam Hartman. I mean, it's similar to a play they had earlier in the day where it's a long mesh point and there's a lot of open space if he's able to put that into the chest of Donovan Green.
2nd and 10. Wake again pressing the matter. Hartman time to throw, and he fires that one for a touchdown. Caught by Green in the end zone. And Wake continues to find that end zone time and time again. An 18-yard touchdown pass.
This just ends up being good play design that confuses the secondary for North Carolina. Kind of a bunch look, you spray release them, and that distorts the coverage for North Carolina. And Day-Day Hollins, number 15, kind of out of position, and that's about as easy as it will get for Wake Forest offensively.
So now they're really starting to open it up as Skiba drills the extra point. 11 plays, 71 yards. It took 4 minutes and 22 seconds. It was pretty smooth.
It was smooth. They've been doing it by quick strike in the first half, but in the second half, sustaining the drive, finding Donovan Green for the score.
About 7 minutes to go here in the third, and our great director Mike Ireland made the point that you know the defense is having a long day when the opposing quarterback is cramping up on the sideline.
Well, listen, if you've scored 45 points, there's a lot of people you have to run down into the end zone to congratulate, and so it can lead to cramping, Dave.
24 unanswered points for Wake Forest and Sam Hartman.
Well, North Carolina got into playing a lot of man coverage, and so the response by Wake was get into a bunch, try to cause some confusion. North Carolina tries to zone it off. They obviously don't do it properly, and that leads to Donovan Green just running right through, the defense with no one picking him up. You see Trey Morrison at the bottom of the screen, kind of throwing his hands up in frustration that they don't get it communicated properly in terms of how they want to pick it up.
So Carolina got off to such a good start. They're trying to find that groove again. Powell, the throw as a wide open receiver. Brown down into the end zone perhaps, and there he goes. The flag is down, but Joffrey Brown off to the races. But a flag on the play. So let's see what's up here. 6:44 to go in the third.
Personal foul.
It's a touchdown.
Legal blindside block. Offense, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still results in a first down.
Would have gone for 75 yards.
Yeah, and it's Joffrey Brown's brother, Dyami Brown, that ends up with the penalty. They run a post deep cross combination. Dyami takes the top off the coverage. Here comes Joffrey across the screen, and then it's that block right there. You know, they're trying to eliminate those plays from the game. I mean, that's trying to eliminate that kind of clean the clock kind of block that you get on a peel back. It's probably the right call there.
I would agree. You know, it's big brother looking out for little brother, but not the way you want. Al's going to scamper and slide to the 20 on that carry.
Yeah, the hard part in seeing that is for a very long time, that's what you wanted from players. You wanted guys rallying to go make that block. They've kind of removed that, but still doesn't take away from the explosiveness of the play and shows you how quickly North Carolina can strike.
2nd down and 6. Al puts it in the air short. And it's Boston as tight end, getting down close inside the 5-yard line. And again, neither one of these offenses really feature the tight end. It's a great league, the ACC, for tight ends. This play goes for 18. 1st down and goal. Tar Heels starting to get back in the groove again. And Williams gets stacked up right around the 5-yard line. Javonte Williams with a carry.
And you just look at the way that North Carolina's fighting back here. We saw them do it against Florida State. Saw them try to dig themselves out of a hole against Virginia. And, you know, they found themselves in these situations where, look, they feel like they've got the ability to come back, but they've had to do this a few times, you know, this season.
Williams again, the running back. 2nd and goal for the Heels. Quarterback is going to keep it and dive ahead. So not much there for North Carolina. And head coach Mack Brown, the Hall of Famer. Talked to Katie George at halftime. He debated the interception from his angle. He had a good angle, but he did caution himself. He said, I'm not supposed to talk about officiating calls. I know I'm not supposed to do that. 3rd down and goal. Back short and into the end zone, and an outstanding catch by Dyami Brown for the touchdown. Fading right into the corner for 6.
It's an excellent throw by Sam Howell. You know, as a quarterback, your aiming point is the back pylon. They get into this like full house look to get man coverage. You see just kind of that aiming point. Good patience by Brown on the release. Mack Brown is happy with the result of the play. Nice throw by Howell. Great job on the release by Dyami Brown. North Carolina fighting back.
Extra point good. 6 plays, 75 yards. That did not take a lot of time either. Just as importantly, 2 minutes and 13 seconds on that scoring drive.
Yeah, and you know, they get it in 3 big plays. You know, basically you have the deep over by Joffrey Brown that could have been a touchdown, ends up because of the penalty, giving them great field position. Nice job by Sam Howell moving in the pocket and finding his big tight end, and then an outstanding throw on the goal line fade. You need your receiver to give you some time with his release. That's exactly what Dyami Brown did. And you know, you can't really ever count this team out, really either team for that matter, when they're down because of their ability to quick strike.
Now you've got Joffrey, who had his touchdown erased because of the penalty by his brother, who then gets into the end zone and continues to have a marvelous season. He's leading the ACC in receiving yards per game, almost 100 yards per game. Let's get out of Katie George.
Well, guys, that last break on the sideline for North Carolina's defense was an emotional roller coaster. They're visibly tired and frustrated. Then they think Joffrey Brown scores. He doesn't. But his brother Diami finally gets into the end zone, and there was a point of rejuvenation. D-line coach Tim Cross had a great message. We have the offense to be able to do this, but we have to do our part on the field.
Well, they certainly do. Carolina, number 2 in the ACC to Notre Dame in third down conversions. They have one of the best offenses in the country, averaging 538 yards total offense per game. Alabama gets 555. So they're an elite company, as that one is incomplete, intended for Roberson, and broken up by Trey Morrison.
And winning on first down is going to be a key for, North Carolina getting to a stop, because if you can get Wake in 3rd and 8 plus, you just have such a better chance of stopping them, because it's not one of the things that they do best is playing the traditional drop back game.
Nice job there by Roberson after the catch. Gilmer with the stop, but that'll gain 6 yards. With about 4.5 minutes to go here in the third in a wild afternoon at Chapel Hill. 3rd down and 4 for Hartman and the Demon Deacons. Both quarterbacks have been terrific today. He's going to try and step up and take a block. Outside he goes. He's dragged down. So 4th down for Wake.
Yeah, North Carolina decided we're not going to sit back anymore. Here comes Chaz Surratt. He runs through the block of Christian Beal-Smith. That kind of, makes Sam Hartman feel a little uneasy. He tries to escape, and then good rally to the football by Tyrone Hopper. And look, you hear everybody talking about, look, we have the offense to do it, but we need to get stops. Well, there's your first stop right there.
So Wake 3 and out. Mora back to punt. 45-31 Wake Forest. And he gets it away. And here's Newsome. He wants to run it. Looking for a couple of blocks. And they're going to tie him up and spin him down. So nothing doing. Good punt too, went for 49. 3:19 to go. Now more college football coming up on the ACC network and on the ESPN app at 3:30. It's Louisville taking on Virginia. And at 7:30, FSU and NC State. ACC network prime time presented by Geico. A very full day here on the ACC network.
And good to see that Louisville-Virginia game happening just a week after it was supposed to. I think everyone's done a nice job of making these happen.
1st down and 10. Howell back to work, handing off for Williams. And straight ahead he goes, trying to get to the 20-yard line. He'll pick up just 2.
Justin Williams on
North Carolina with a pair of NFL caliber running backs. Tar Heels boasting the top tandem in college football. The only pair of backs to average over 100 yards each per game. Williams scored 4 touchdowns in the first half against Duke last Saturday. Now he's going to roll and fire, and incomplete.
They talk about these backs. I mean, they really kind of are. You think about great, duo running back combinations, whether it's been Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, or D'Anthony Thomas and LaMichael James, or Reggie Bush and Lendell White. Like, you're talking about that type of production. And, I think it's one of the reasons why Phil Longo felt like, look, we need to find more ways to get them the football, when he looked at, a year ago to this year, how the offense could improve.
Of course, he has a tremendous quarterback in Howell. We'll throw that one short on the near side. Flag is down on the play.
There is a flag on the play.
Josh Downs with a catch, but a flag. 45-31 Wake Forest, trying to win their 5th consecutive game. And as Dave Clawson said this week, we're a team ascending right now. We're certainly going in the right direction in every phase of the game.
Holding, defense, number 17. 10-yard penalty results in a 1st down. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, and it's Travion Red who's covering Javonte Williams. And Javonte Williams escapes out to the right side of your screen in the flat, and then he turns it up the field, and Red kind of panics. He doesn't need to because he's got a defender behind him. And that leads to the penalty, and they may have needed it because while the ball was completed to Josh Downs, it looked like it maybe was going to be close whether or not it was a first.
Yeah, it's a great point. 1st and 10 after the hold. It's Carter.
Michael Carter.
He'll gain 3 yards. The running back duos you're talking about since 2005, and where these guys stack up, they are in great company. Some of the legendary running back duos in recent history.
I think that's the best way to talk about it, Dave. Legendary. I mean, Reggie Bush and Lendell White, it was legendary what they did, you know, at USC, and, you know, to basically be the only other 2 backs that, you know, done something similar.
Powell bombs away here, going deep, and incomplete. His intended receiver was De'Ami Brown. And then for more on the running back story, let's toss it down to Katie.
Well, guys, Phil Longo says people often want him to pick between the two. Who's better in what situation? He says it's like being asked who your favorite child is. It's an impossible question. He says it is a luxury, though, to be able to throw either back in whatever situation. He says he doesn't have to think about his play calls regardless of who's in the football field. And that really is a luxury that he has.
Now the call here for Phil Longo, 3rd down and 7. They're only 3 for 9 on 3rd down today, North Carolina. Under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. Powell on the move again. Has to throw that one out of bounds. So some pressure on him, and another flag down.
Holding offense, number 25. Penalties decline. 4th down.
So obviously Wake declining that, and brings up 4th down.
Well, you know, Phil Longo doesn't want to choose between his backs. They're both good players. You know, in pass protection here, I don't see that as a hold at all. I think that's a good job of Javonte Williams meeting Ryan Smenda, and then Smenda's legs getting caught up with the offensive lineman. You know, sometimes when you see a guy go down and then the blocker is on the side of him, the official will read that as a hold. You know, with the throwaway by Sam Howell, probably doesn't really end up mattering all that much.
So Wake Forest gets the football back here at the tail end of the 3rd quarter. Here's our quarterback comparison. And obviously they've both been terrific today. 4 touchdown passes for Howell, 3 for Hartman, who has not been picked off. Howell, 1 interception. There was quite a fight for that. And both of them have been lighting it up.
Lighting it up is right. They've been great, both of them. And, you know, I think that probably the more surprising one is Sam Hartman. You know, Sam Hartman had 4 touchdown passes coming into today. You know, so, you know, to come out and throw the football and score through the air the way they have is not been, you know, been the formula for Wake Forest offensively this year.
And again, he has not been intercepted. Pressure on. He's going to get it off, but incomplete. Has not been intercepted this season. He's the only ACC quarterback who has not thrown one. Starting quarterback.
Intentional grounding. Number 10, offense. Penalties, loss of down at the spot of the foul. 30 down.
So they're getting for grounding. We'll take another look.
Well, this was an interesting one. It's one of that, you know, it's kind of that long mesh point as he walks up to the line of scrimmage with Walker. He decides to pull the football, and then he's going to run with it, and then he doesn't like to run, so he comes out of it to try to throw it away. He's clearly in the tackle box, and I don't see a receiver in sight, and so that's a good job by the officials of getting it sorted out as intentional grounding.
So brings up 3rd down. And Wake deep in their own end. A lot of movement up front there, and a quick start, and a whistle and a flag.
Offside defense, number 88 with contact. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
It's clearly offsides by the defense, but Sam Howell's frustrated because I think he wanted a free play out of this. Let's see. Yeah, there's no movement by the Wake offensive line. You see Sam Howell, basically throw up the hand like, hey, take off, Donovan Green. It's a free play. Let me throw one up to you. That's why he was upset that the officials blew it dead. Now, oftentimes they're trying to protect the quarterback in case somebody's unabated, but I think Sam wanted a free play there.
Looking to fire again, and this one broken up. Incomplete. He wanted Green again, but not this time, and another flag is down. Boy, what a choppy end to this quarter. A lot of penalties.
Holding, number 59, offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
We saw nothing like this in the first half. Nary a flag or any stoppage of the offenses. And Wake Forest 2 consecutive 3-and-outs now.
Yeah, and you look at Sam Hartman, he's got pretty good protection there. Ball's right to the face mask of Donovan Green, and wouldn't have mattered. And I think keeping your poise in these situations, obviously key for Wake Forest.
Or he gets off the punt. And Newsome there at the 25-yard line. That's where the drive will begin here for the Tar Heels. We'll see if they can keep their offensive momentum after a 52-yard punt. 45-31 Wake Forest as we're closing in on the 4th quarter. Less than a minute. So we'll see if Sam Howell can get it rolling again. Number 2 in the ACC with over 2,000 passing yards coming into play today. Man, is he added to that. And 4 touchdown passes already today. And his team is down 45-31. He's going to throw to the flat. And Newsome. And a completion to Daz Newsome. Stopped by Nick Anderson, but it picks up 11.
Ball's marked at the 37-yard line.
It's those horizontal stretches, where they fake the run, throw the ball into the flat, and you got to cover 53 1/3 yards, which is how wide the field is. They stretch you that way, pound you with the run, and then go over the top.
Newsome's really been a star. Going to tuck that one in for De'Ami Brown. And a completed pass. You see how fast North Carolina can go. 19 yards for that reception.
Yeah, and that's why this is a dangerous situation, Dave, because going fast like this is natural. I mean, these are staple plays for them offensively. They're run pass options. One that goes into the flat, one that goes to a slant.
Trying to get away. He's going to loft that one. Right on the sidelines. What a grab there made by Michael Carter to haul that one in.
It was a great catch. I think Sam Howell is trying to throw this away. So he trying to throw it over Carter's head. Carter kind of does some acrobatics on the sideline and catches the football for a loss.
Loss of 2.
Like, hey,
not to discount
catch,
the athleticism, though. Yeah.
Hey, great catch, but don't do that again, please.
Yes, let it go. So that's the end of the quarter. Join us for the 4th, because this one has been a dandy for the offenses so far today here at Chapel Hill. Well, we have seen over 1,000 yards total offense in the first 3 quarters here at Chapel Hill today. What will the 4th quarter hold? Well, Howell has been outstanding, continues that. Right away goes to Carter for the end zone. And he continues to add on to a sensational day. 5 touchdown passes. This one 46 yards. And here come the Tar Heels.
It seemed like Phil Longo had a chance to think about what he wanted in the break between quarters, and they run Carter on a little wheel route, runs to the flat and turns up, and it's just too much speed for DJ Taylor, and you see him up the top of the screen, kind of runs that wide, and then boom, up the field. DJ Taylor, as he was running out there to cover him, just isn't able to redirect. And nice idea by Phil Longo to get the ball to Michael Carter in space.
4 plays, 74 yards. Man, we've seen a lot of drives like that today. How perfect on that drive, and another touchdown pass connecting with Michael Carter. The fourth quarter, North Carolina's been dynamite.
It's remarkable how good they've been in the fourth quarter. Did you see the scoring margin? And that is why, is Sam Howell, going back to his freshman year, look at what he's done in the fourth quarter. 16 touchdowns and zero interceptions. I mean, we saw it early in his career, Dave, against Miami, him kind of playing great late in kind of the most critical moments of a football game. But that's wild to see that type of production. And you talk about quarterbacks making their money on third down in the red zone in critical moments. Well, fourth quarter is certainly a critical moment.
You know, every quarterback in the ACC plays in the shadow of Trevor Lawrence, who has had a brilliant career. But there's a lot of light on this kid today. In fact, both of these quarterbacks, the two Sams, Sam Howell and Sam Hartman, they've both been great. And what a shootout this has turned into.
Yeah, they both have been great. And, you know, Howell is the guy that, you know, I think you're probably right, is overshadowed the most in terms of production, but he really does a lot well for this football team.
Well, last 2 drives for Wake have been 3 and out. Quarterback will keep this one. Chaz Surratt with the stop. We haven't called Chaz's name very often. He's ranked by ESPN one of the top 50 players in America.
5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And they'll repeat first down. No doubt his younger brother Sage would have been in everybody's top 50 had he not opted out at Wake Forest.
You know, interesting situation for both guys. You know, Sage, because he's been playing wide receiver, had the year he had a year ago, did have shoulder surgery. He opts out and is, you know, probably certain to be a first rounder. Chaz, you know, kind of needed to play this year. And, you know, he's still learning the linebacker position. And, you know, he's fun to watch, still learning it, but he's so much ability, you know, for both guys. But, you know, Chaz Surratt learning the position of linebacker. You know, he's got a lot of physical tools, and I think it's been interesting to see him grow at the position, from converting from quarterback of all positions.
Bill Smith trying to find a hole inside, did a good job there negotiating that one. On the carry, they'll gain him 5. Just getting the fourth quarter underway, 45-38 Wake Forest. And who will be the biggest star in the end? The quarterbacks have been dazzling. The wide receivers have been too. Hartman plenty of time in the pocket. He's going to fire, and that one complete. Relatively short pass there to Roberson for 7.
That's a nice play by
Wake looking for an extended drive time.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Sam Hartman, David. I mean, interrupt you, but he starts to his left and literally scans the field, gets to his third wide receiver there, which was Roberson, but he had to come all the way across the field to find him.
Nothing this time for Christian Beal-Smith as he is stopped. So coming up on the 13-minute mark, Wake Forest suddenly finding it very, very tough to get a long drive going. 3rd down and 4. And he'll throw that one incomplete. That one off of Nolan Gruhl, who's been very dependable today, but incomplete.
This is exactly what they wanted. You know, they get Nolan Gruhl with a one-on-one. He wins his matchup. Hartman gives him a good ball. There's a nice pocket. He just doesn't catch it. And I think Sam Hartman knows it too. It's like, this is exactly what we wanted. You have an opportunity. Now yet again, after 2 3-and-outs, as you mentioned, Dave, another stop for this North Carolina Tar Heel defense.
So Mora has to punt again. North Carolina has all the momentum and plenty of time. 12:49 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Still fourth down.
Delay of game there, fourth down. And the punt here for Wake Forest. 3 straight punts for Wake. And Mora trying to launch one, got his leg into it. Newsom back there around the 21-yard line. And another flag. Now a lot of those here in the second half.
During the kick, holding, number 0, kicking team. That penalty will be enforced at the end of the kick, half the distance to the goal. First down, North Carolina.
We'll take the break. 12:42 remaining in this suddenly tight contest.
4 teams, 2 semifinals. New Year's Day, the college football player lives on ESPN.
How about the day for Sam Howell now? 484 passing yards. Marquise Williams has the school record. He's just 10 yards away from that. Williams passing for 494 against Duke. That was in 2015.
Well, and he's going to get it with 12:42 left in this game.
Like his chances. May get it very, very quickly. And nudged out of bounds on a completed pass. It is Newsom. He got it right there because that goes for 11. So that was the blink of an eye.
It didn't take long. It's kind of how things have been going on offense for both of these teams.
Well, he does not want it to be merely a footnote. He wants it to be in a come-from-behind victory. First down and 10 for North Carolina. To the center of that line is Michael Carter on the carry. So he'll gain 4 yards on that play.
27, gain of 5 on the play.
You know, North Carolina was talking defensively about, hey, we have the offense to make this happen, but we need to get stops. And you know, with 12 minutes left in this game so far, you know, they rallied around that cry.
Second down 5. He'll throw this one and bat it down, incomplete. Good job there by Trevion Red, who's had a really fine day.
He has, and he's been one of the more improved players inside this Wake program on the defensive side of the ball. And it's a good job. He's come down to run support, realizes it's a throw, and he's able to get his arm up.
3rd and 5. Moving on the outside, here's Williams for the gain. And you wonder if down the stretch here, this is where the running attack for Carolina will really take hold.
Well, and how about on 3rd and 5? You know, kind of surprise the defense with a run. You see Marcus McKeithen pulling around there, and then Javonte Williams breaking tackles to make sure he gets the first.
First down 10. Williams again staying on his feet. And they stop him there. Tackle again by Red after a 3-yard gain.
Gain of 3 on the play.
So Javonte will step out. And Carter back in at the running back for North Carolina on 2nd down and 7. Howell has had a record-setting day for North Carolina at quarterback, and he's back to throw again. He's looking long. He fires as a wide receiver. He's going to hit Brown again for a huge first down to add to his total. 32 yards on that strike.
Really similar to the play we saw earlier. It's a post-deep cross combination. Look at Nick Anderson, 45 on the top hash. Instead of continuing to sink deep, he comes up, and when he comes up, that vacates that whole area for the deep cross. And it's a nice job of Sam Howell of seeing it and making the throw.
North Carolina moving it again. 1st and 10. Quick handoff for Carter, but Wake Forest saw that one coming.
Carter on the carry.
And it was Shamar McCollum there waiting to make the stop at 6'4", 220.
Also 2 on the play. Ball spotted on the
Lose 2
32.
yards. Well, the first half was a sight to behold. We saw more combined yards by these two teams than anybody in college football or the NFL in the first half of a game this season. Both quarterbacks have been brilliant. 2nd down and 12 here. And Coach Clausen checking to see how many men were on the field on the defensive side on that last play. So the 8th play of the drive coming up. We'll take the break and return in a moment. Well, they took a look. There were not too many men on the defensive side. Wake Forest with a 45-38 lead with 9:43 to go. Mack Brown at halftime telling Katie this is a shootout. It certainly played out that way into the second half as well. Sam Howell, the North Carolina quarterback, has thrown for 527 yards today. That's a school record. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's already thrown it 40 times and more to come here. 2nd down and 12 for the Tar Heels. And Howell in the pocket again. Gets off the pass, and that one is going to be completed to Carter, who will spin out of bounds. Michael Carter with the reception, and he will gain 11.
You see why these backs are so versatile, Dave. I mean, and Phil Longo made the point to us. It's not like he has to run somebody in passing situations. And it doesn't matter to him in terms of if they're running the football or they're passing the football, who's in the backfield in terms of pass protection, running routes, or running with the football.
3rd and 1 for Howell. Under 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter at Chapel Hill. He'll hand it off for Williams. Bouncing outside, and he picks up a 1st down. Javonte Williams once again chased out by Smenda, but they're into the red zone.
And they're running a power play. They're pulling the backside guard. Normally you want to run inside of that, but it basically just gets bounced. And that's why, you know, one of the reasons why Javonte Williams is such an effective back. He runs with a ton of power, but you know, he's got excellent speed as well, and then the vision to just bounce it outside and get the 1st down.
Ball's going to keep it, looking for the end zone again, and a touchdown. He goes for the tight end, Garrett Walston this time. That's his 2nd touchdown pass of the season. Number 6 today for Sam Howell. And North Carolina right back at it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, play action. Basically, they end up running Walston vertically, and Jaquez Williams, I think, anticipated him just running to the flat like we've seen them do a couple times, where it's that RPO where the tight end goes into the flat, and instead he heads upfield and, you know, really ended up getting a bunch of separation, made an easy throw for Sam Howell, 6 touchdowns.
Atkins drilling to point after to tie the game at 45-45, an 89-yard drive. They had lousy field position.
They did, and Sam Howell's been excellent, and there's Garrett Walston saying, hey, the tight ends need to be a part of this offensive explosion.
A marquee performance by that young man, Sam Howell, the quarterback for North Carolina. He's approaching 550 yards in passing today. Wake had a 24-0 run. North Carolina has answered with a 21-0 run of their own. And still over 8 minutes to go in a game tied at 45.
Well, one of the ways you can go on a run is when the quarterback is going off. Sam Howell, 6 touchdown passes on the day. The first one to Daz Newsome, next one to De'Ami Brown, and you know, when you look at these, they're all different. You know, it's coming from different areas, going to different players. The goal line fade, hits a back out of the backfield. Then the tight end gets involved. I mean, he's doing it with everybody. Sam Howell seeing the field perfectly and helping North Carolina engineer a comeback to tie this thing up and make it interesting.
So now it's Hartman's turn going up top and flinging that one down the field, and an incomplete pass with a flag down. With 8:12 left in the contest.
Pass interference, defense, number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That is the free safety, Trey Morrison. Take a look on pass interference.
Yeah, and it's Taylor Marin down the field, and Morrison, you know, just with that right arm, kind of grabbing the arm of Marin, which makes Marin try to catch the ball with one hand, and it kind of goes to the line of, you know, we're talking about penalties. You know, Mac Brown talked about we're not good enough to turn the football over and win. We're not good enough to have all these penalties and win.
Wake last 3 times has been forced to punt. So they have had a lot of trouble moving the football here. Just over 8 minutes to go. Incomplete intended for Stewart. So 2nd down and 10 for Hartman. Knotted up 45-45. Going to hand off. Here's Walker. Following his blockers, takes a pop. So Walker with the carry. That went for just 2. Surratt with the stop. 3rd down and 8.
You know, and I think for Dave Clawson wants to think this over. This is a really big play. I mean, you talk about the way this Wake offense has struggled to get first downs.
They had 8 out of 15 today on 3rd. They want to talk about this one. Not 2 outstanding head coaches, but the biggest call of the game here, 3rd and 8, coming up to him.
Yeah, and I'm expecting some type of switch release, especially with this bunch down the bottom of your screen. It's something that's given North Carolina some problems defensively throughout the afternoon.
Hartman back looking to throw. He's going to fire, and incomplete. Tight coverage. Intended for Stewart, but they didn't get it. And 4th down coming up for Wake.
Well, they did have the switch release at the bottom of the screen, but Hartman chose the isolated route to Stewart, who doesn't have a catch on the day, and it's actually a well-thrown ball. I think Stewart's got to extend his hands and reach out for that football. Good job by Patrice Renea closing on it, though.
Again, Renea came back from a torn ACL a season ago. So they'll have to punt again. 4th consecutive time they have been forced by North Carolina to punt the football. Newsom back to receive, and will take it right there around the 19-yard line. Sam Howell has had a record-breaking day. 6 touchdown passes. That's a school record. 547 yards passing, 3rd most in ACC history. That is a North Carolina record. And he still has plenty of time to add to that, but he's looking for a huge drive to try and put North Carolina in the lead despite all his success. It's tied at 45.
Well, we mentioned he raised the expectations, right? He continues to raise them, setting records and closing in on Deshaun Watson's record.
He wants to throw on the move on 1st down, and now he's going to step out of bounds. He'll gain 3 on that carry to bring up 2nd down for the Tar Heels, coming up on the 7-minute mark. North Carolina trying to win for the 6th time. Huge win over Duke last Saturday. They got 56 points. And have been forced to score a ton again today, this time against Wake Forest. It's Carter on the move. Carter hurdling over one man, trying to break away, got close to the 50-yard line.
How about North?
More spectacular runs today.
Yeah, it was, and it was because Javonte Williams, even though Carter is the ball carrier, both backs in the backfield, and Javonte Williams, the left side of your screen, I mean, that's a pancake block, and then he's actually still on his feet. Maybe looking for even more.
Now that goes for 26. A man is down, and that is Jaquez Williams for Wake Forest on his back with 6:54 to go. So a big first down here on the carry by Michael Carter, the unquestioned leader of the offense for North Carolina. And what has been some afternoon of football at Chapel Hill. 45-45 records falling all over the place today. And particularly North Carolina school records behind the young quarterback, the sophomore Sam Howell. They are going to take a look here from what we're being told to see if there was targeting on this play. So it's under review. And Carter at work, leaping over one man.
And they may be talking about the block from Javonte Williams. You know, Javonte Williams is releasing out of the backfield. He's a lead blocker, 25. And, you know, that is, you know, helmet to helmet. I mean, you just very rarely see it. A targeting call when you're a lead blocker. It's the right side of your screen there, but you know he's a lead blocker. You know it's an isolation play. You know typically you're talking about defenseless players.
Mm-hmm.
You know when we see these targeting situations, we're not typically looking at a back leading through the hole.
So no targeting ruled on the field, but it's under review with an eye for that. And Javonte telling us this week that he was a linebacker through most of his high school career. And there's a look at the hit, knocking Williams back.
After further review, there was no targeting on the previous play. First down, North Carolina.
And good to see Williams up and walking off.
It really is, play. Dave. Yeah, it is, Dave. And Jaquez Williams has had a really fine game today. And, I think they reviewed it because it was such a vicious hit by Javonte Williams leading up through there. It was almost as if Jaquez Williams was unaware that Javonte Williams was coming out of the backfield to lead up on him. And we've seen the way he runs with power. Obviously, delivered quite a blow there on the block, but it's great to see Jaquez Williams come off the field under his own power.
Well, Williams is their leading tackler, so this is a big miss, especially at this stage in the game with 6:43 to go. Tied up at 45. Howell's going to throw short, unable to break free. Daz Newsome, as he is taken down after 3-yard pickup for North Carolina.
Nick Anderson on the tackle for the Demon Deacons. Ball spot at the 48-yard line.
So second down 7 for Howell and the Tar Heels. Carter and Williams both in the backfield alongside the quarterback. He's going to fire it, and that one's going to be broken up. Intended for Joffrey Brown.
That's intended for Joffrey Brown incompletely.
And Howell has him here, and I think that's a ball he should catch. Now you find yourself in third down, and because you're going to have a ton of success on first down, now you got 3rd and 7, which I think dictates a drop back passing situation. I don't think this is an RPO situation where they kind of are in their comfort zone. And if it were me, I would probably be looking outside to De'Ami Brown.
Howell, some heat on him. He's going to have to run it. Straight ahead he goes. What an effort there by Howell, who's very rarely called on to have to run the football. But took off as he tucked it and ran here. And a heck of a play.
The run is great, but the escape right there of Boogie Basham, who does a great job with his pass rush, is what makes the play. It's a good job of kind of getting low, getting the first down, but it was that escape inside the pocket, that subtle movement against one of the best defensive linemen in all of college football, and Boogie Basham. Great play by Sam Howell.
1st and 10, handing off Williams. He's going to cut to his right, still on his feet. He got down to the 20-yard line. Johns eventually preventing the touchdown, but Javonte Williams with a punishing run.
It was a punishing run. Kind of, get good movement up front, and then I think it was a bit of a missed tackle there, maybe by Bothroyd, as Javonte Williams able to get to the second level.
A gain of 21 on that romp. 1st down and 10. Handing off again, Carter this time. Tried to spin inside, but he's denied. Stopped by Smenda. Let's toss it down to Katie George. Second down and 10 coming up. The 8th play of the drive coming up. Howell fires and incomplete. His target was Joffrey Brown, but another one broken up by Wake.
And I'm a little bit surprised they've gone to Joffrey Brown a few times. He's a good player for them, but he's still a young player in their system. I think in some of these critical situations, depend on the guys that have been your most dependable. And so that's Daz Newsome, it's De'Ami Brown, or in this case with Javonte Williams in the backfield, Javonte Williams. So to me, I'm looking for one of those guys in this situation.
3rd down 10. He's going to run it again. Howell across the 5, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Sam Howell has done it all today. Literally. A 20-yard touchdown scamper for North Carolina. He has been sensational throwing the football and now running the football. He's into the end zone with the biggest touchdown of the day.
And shame on me for mentioning all of the other playmakers except for Sam Howell. That's a designed quarterback draw. And you want to put the ball in your best playmaker's hands. Well, I guess it's Sam Howell.
North Carolina with a tremendous comeback, still a lot of time, but the Tar Heels, thanks to Howell, have the upper hand on his day of days, 52-45.
Yeah, they basically fake a swing pass out to the left to release the offensive lineman down the field, and then Sam Howell getting some of that Michael Carter and Javonte Williams rubbing off on them, a little bit of a stiff arm and broken tackle as he finds his way into the end zone. But quarterback draw, well-timed call by Phil Longo. Here's the broken tackle of Nick Anderson, and Sam Howell just competing, as you said, Dave, doing it every which way, obviously in the passing game, but here in the running game as well. Think of the 2 critical runs by Sam Howell on that drive. The escape of Boogie Basham, be able to run for the 1st down on 3rd down, and then that touchdown run.
Wow, there is nothing he can't do. What a sensational day. In every way a quarterback can do it. The drive goes for 9 plays, 81 yards. That is 28 unanswered points for the Tar Heels. They have stunned Wake Forest. And Sam Howell with a superstar performance. There's no other way to put it. 6 touchdown passes. He has set the school record for passing yards in a game, and now he runs into the end zone for 20 to give them a 52-45 lead. What a game.
What a game. I can't remember seeing a better quarterback performance than what we've seen from Sam Howell, and Sam Hartman getting a chance to respond.
Still has time, too. He's going to fire this one long and fired that one up for grabs, but incomplete. He wanted Roberson, but no. And just a little over 4 minutes to go. You talked about both of the quarterbacks as we came on the air, but Sam Howell putting himself with that incredible freshman season, 38 touchdown passes, what he's done so far this season, into rarefied air. And a game like this is one that he'll be able to remember the rest of his life, but it's not over yet. And down goes the quarterback Hartman as he is tripped up from behind. Vohasek there to chase him down and get him.
That's a big play by Vohasek because there's room for Sam Hartman if he's able to escape there. Good job of just retracing by Vohasek. He's able to get enough of the foot of Sam Hartman to get him down.
Hartman on 3rd down and 9. Rifles that one incomplete. And here in the 4th quarter, the offense has really stalled for the Demon Deacons. It was incredible most of the day. And they had built up a decent lead, but boy, the way Howell has come back, it's gone.
Well, I mean, when you look at it prior to this drive, 4 straight punts. And just run 14 plays for 39 yards in those drives. And here again, they get into that bunch. I'd expect some type of switch release, working someone up top.
4th and 9, pressure, he is down again. Chaz Surratt takes a bow. A huge play for Surratt as he takes down Hartman. The defensive play of the day and a loss of 11.
Surratt played poorly in this matchup a year ago. Does an excellent job there. Jay Bateman told us he kind of knew that Chaz Surratt was going to be looking for some redemption. They bring both inside backers, and Christian Beal-Smith isn't able to sort it out with Juergens the center, and because of that, because of the speed of Chaz Surratt, he's able to sneak in there and get to Sam Hartman quickly.
Chaz Surratt had been reminded by his defensive coordinator, they said something like 1,000 times a day, that he had not had a good day against them last year. Against his brother's team, timeout. 52-45. What a comeback here for North Carolina. And getting it done both ways. 28 unanswered points for the Heels. They were down 45-24 with about 7 minutes to go in the 3rd, and it was looking pretty bleak at that point, particularly the way the Demon Deacons were moving the football. And now, with 3.5 minutes to go, look at the score.
Yeah, it was bleak. That's a great way to describe it, Dave. Absolutely bleak, so much so that defensively, they're yelling on the sideline about, like, we need to find a way to get a stop, and then hopefully build off of that. And basically, they were able to get 5 straight stops in terms of keeping them out of the end zone.
On the carry, it's Williams as he goes pounding into the line to bring up 2nd down. And North Carolina trying to put this game on ice. 550 passing yards, a school record for Howell. 6 touchdown passes, tied for the most in the ACC, and 30 yards shy of Watson's record of 580 that you had mentioned earlier, Tim. Incredible.
Yeah, and something crazy would have to happen for him to be throwing the football to get to that record. But what he has done today, putting himself into the North Carolina record books, has been a lot of fun to watch.
Handing off Williams again. Big hole. He cuts back inside. Touchdown. Another score for North Carolina. Javonte Williams once again to the end zone, which he makes a serious habit of doing. And North Carolina icing this one this afternoon, it would appear. What a second half for the Tar Heels. Williams in for 6 more. So Atkins on for the extra point, and he sticks it. North Carolina, 59 points here this afternoon.
See, just a simple zone run play. They cover everybody up, and Javonte Williams, as we so often have seen, gets to the second level. And like I kind of had to ask myself a little bit here, Dave, were they letting him score? Sounds crazy, but it almost was like Dave Clawson potentially said, look, we're better off with them scoring. I know you said ice it. It's a kind of a 2-score game, obviously, at this point, but with 2:39 left, are you better off with that much time left? The opportunity to get the football back, potentially score quickly and have an onside kick? Because that seemed too easy.
Really looked it. 35 unanswered points for the Tar Heels today. To lead it 59-45, 2:39 remaining. The offense is really stalled here down the stretch for Hartman and the Demon Deacons. Can they get it going again?
Well, and that's the point. I just said, I mean, it's been 5 straight drives where they've ended giving the ball back to North Carolina via a punt or, on downs. And so they need some of that magic that they had early in the first half to come back.
Our next game, Louisville and Virginia, kicks off at 3:35. They're going to start on ESPN News, and we'll be going to that site as soon as we are done. First down 10. Hartman bottled up again and could not get free. Down he goes once more. Boy, Vlahacic's had a couple of huge moments here in the fourth quarter. He gets it done again there with the sack, and that loses 8 yards.
Yeah, another big play by Vlahacic, and you get into these 2-minute situations. It's not a strength of Wake Forest offensively. It's one of the reasons they run that offense with that long mesh point. It neutralizes the defensive line. And so Dave Clawson told us, we kind of manage our sacks and our pass protection with that style of play, but you get into 2-minute drive situations, these defensive linemen know, hey, I'm rushing the passer, and Vlahacic does a nice job of it there.
North Carolina, their 4th sack of the day to bring up second down and 18. Now, Hartman had a lot of magic for the first 3 quarters. He needs some more now. He will fire that one, and incomplete. Intended for Gruel. North Carolina was down 21 points in this game. Wake Forest has not converted one of those third downs in the quarter. Back to throw again. Going to throw it over the middle, and the catch is going to be made here by Roberson, trying to cut to the outside, and will step out after a huge gain.
I'm keeping hope alive.
They desperately needed, yes.
Desperately is right. Good job of Hartman at just standing in the pocket. People around his feet come from the backside, and that's a really good throw to Roberson, running into the middle of the field, and then they're fortunate enough to get some run after the catch, and that'll breathe some life into you.
Well, it certainly did. The play went for 46. First and 10, Hartman rifles this one again, and a catch complete to Morin. So Wake starting to come back to life. A 9-yard pickup there. Trying to go very quickly now. Inside 2 minutes remaining. Second down 1. He will throw short, complete once again to pick up a first down. And a catch made by Roberson, who far away has been his favorite target this year. Came in with 33 receptions. They get down inside the red zone. First and 10 for Wake. In the pocket, fires. And right there on the sideline, once again, Roberson. He picks up 8.
And if I'm North Carolina, I may be giving Roberson some type of special treatment in terms of coverage, because it does seem like that's the player they're trying to get the football to.
He's out to the right. Quarterback looks left, and another quick pass. And that one complete to the freshman Rule. And 1:02 remaining. 59-45. Quite a finish here at Chapel Hill. And a timeout. Wake Forest will take their last timeout with just over a minute to go.
And I think Roberson needed a break. He was kind of looking for a substitute, and they were running Keyshawn Williams onto the field in his place. I think Dave Clawson was like, you know what? I'm going to take a timeout. I want 5 on the field in this critical situation.
Well, going back to your point about just how easy it was, you know, for North Carolina to score on, you know, that touchdown run by Williams. I mean, they punch it in here.
Yeah,
first and goal.
Yeah, then it's coming down to an onside kick. So first things first is got to convert down here in the tight red zone.
Hartman, plenty of time, fires for the end zone, and a touchdown. Caught by Roberson, right in the back of the end zone. Wake Forest comes back in a heartbeat. Boy, what a finish here.
Everything about this screams good coaching. Dave Clawson calls a timeout because Roberson is gassed. Then they design a play to get him open near the back end line. It's a good throw. It's a nice catch through contact. And that's why the players on the field matter. Calling that timeout so that you've got Roberson on the field, and he delivers.
8 plays, 75 yards. It took 1 minute and 42 seconds. That's how quick that drive was. And a timeout, North Carolina. And 57 seconds to go.
And Wake Forest lining up as if they're going for 2. I almost wonder if it was in an effort to get North Carolina to burn a timeout. But no, they're bringing the offense back out, and it's probably where some analytics coming in here of going for 2 and creating a much different scenario, obviously, if you get an onside kick, which is maybe the more difficult part.
Hartman in the pocket, fires right at the goal line. And did he get the 2? Yes, he did. They convert the 2-point conversion. 59-53. Who had that score, by the way?
I think you had 58-52, Dave. Just missed it.
Wow. So this is kind of playing out precisely as you indicated, Tim, a few minutes ago, with the ease in which North Carolina was kind of allowed to get into the end zone, and now setting up, you know, for an onside kick.
I mean, nobody laid down defensively for Wake Forest, but man, did it seem easy for Javonte Williams to find his way into the end zone. And when you looked at it at that point, it basically meant that there was enough time on the clock for potentially 2 possessions, which is what there is the potential for here with just inside a minute. And Wake Forest kicking off, and obviously they're going to go with some type of onside kick, and if they recover it, you know, hold on to your hat.
this season, ACC teams have recovered 5 of 22 onside kicks. We have 57 seconds to go. A thrilling finish to this one. It's been some ball game. Obviously, with all the scoring and plenty of records have fallen, and it's not over yet. Nick Skiba, the junior kicker, to attempt an onside kick. North Carolina able to recover right there. And it looked like it was Williams. Yeah, that was Javonte Williams, part of the good hands crew.
Which, look, it makes sense. This ball's, kicked pretty hard by Skiba, and Williams looks like he bobbles it just a little bit. He's able to corral it in there, and I think it's fitting that Williams is there to recover this. I think the only other player it would have been Sam Howell to recover it with the way that this has gone, but what a game.
It's been something. Hope you were with us at the beginning. We've got Louisville and Virginia to come, and this has been a real delight. If you like offense, if you like scoring, record-setting performances, this was your day here at Chapel Hill.
I mean, it was, and look, I think we do need to give a little bit of credit to North Carolina to finally get some stops in the second half. They really buckled down in the fourth quarter, but Sam Howell, he's just been about as exciting as any quarterback to watch in the conference. That was incredible, and what a fight, quite honestly, by Wake Forest to play the way they did, especially offensively. Sam Hardman's performance. But yeah, Matt Brown's group behind Sam Howell, that was incredible to watch.
6 touchdown passes, school record, so the passing yards. Just sensational. One for the ages for Sam Howell. Thanks so much for joining us. For Tim Hasselbeck and Katie George, I'm Dave O'Brien. Hope you'll continue watching. More football to come as we toss it to Chris and Eric in Charlottesville.